Good evening, everyone. I now call to order the 1563rd meeting of the General Student Senate, 16th meeting of the 45th session, and we will start with the landing. Actually, first, there's the notice that this meeting is being broadcast via Zoom, and the recording will be publicly available on YouTube. Now for the meeting. University of Maine recognizes that it is located on Marsh Island in the homeland of the Penobscot Nation, where issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon sacred sites are ongoing. Penobscot homeland is connected to the other Wabanaki tribal nations, the Passamaquoddy, Maliseet, and Micmac, kinship, alliances, and diplomacy. The university also recognizes that the Penobscot Nation and the other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. The clerk will now hold.
Cynthia Shelmerdine. Here. Ezekiel Delorme.
Here.
Kate Fang.
Here.
Rose Thompson.
Here.
Hayden Buzzell.
Here.
Philip Griffin.
Here.
Maggie Johnson. Here. Casper Talon.
Here.
Joshua Baum.
Here.
Juliana Dolan. Here. Isabella Lamadrid. Here. Caleb. Here. Here. Matthew Weber.
Here.
Pastor Harvey.
Here.
James Reader Stewart.
Here.
Marcus McLean.
Here.
Bo Mishu.
Here.
Meredith Waters. Karen Martone.
Here.
Kyle Ricker. Zachary Sella.
Here.
Ethan Crowley.
Here.
Hazel Sparks. Here. Callum Billock.
Here.
Egan Tripp.
Here.
Memphis Peterson.
Here.
Oliver Boyce.
Here.
Dylan Lehman.
Here.
Neil Rocky.
Here.
Elizabeth Oldfield. Here. Abby Downer. Here. Zoe Stegovitz. Here. Olivia Britton. Here. Riley Mills.
Here.
Mackenzie LeBlanc.
Proxy.
Amanda Levesque. Here. Jacob Harquist.
Here.
Hannah Blanchett. Here. Isabel Kostelnik.
Excuse.
John Guzman.
Here.
Casper Leah.
Here.
Tyler Donan Baez.
Here.
Laura Sedaka.
Proxy. I am now looking for a motion to approve the September 10th, 2024 minutes and this agenda. Senator Mitchell.
I motion to approve the consent meeting minutes.
Dan.
Sorry,
Dan.
and its agenda, sorry.
Second. If that's the pleasure of the Senate, that is adopted. We're going to skip the Robert's Rules of the week again. Now for the general good and welfare, any non-member may address the General Student Senate for not more than 5 minutes. Any takers? Seeing none, we will move on to new senators, officer appointments and resignations. Will the following please rise? And please speak up if I pronounce your name wrong. Zachary Zellog, Hazel Sparks, Ethan Crowley, Alan Bellet. Did I say that right? Marcus McLean, Ezekiel DeHorn, Casper Talon, Maggie Johnson, Isabella Lamadrid, Kayla Kierans, and Matthew Weber. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Casper Talon,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
That I will support and uphold.
that I will support and uphold
The Constitution of Student Government Inc.
the Constitution of Student Government Inc.
And all other rules and guidelines.
and all other rules and governance
To which I will be held.
to which I will be held.
Further, I swear.
Further, I swear
To well and faithfully discharge.
to well and faithfully discharge
The duties of the office.
the duties of the office
Upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter,
While representing my constituency.
while representing my constituency
And the University of Maine.
and the University of Maine.
Congratulations, you are now Senator. Speak nothing for club maintenance and club presentations, we will now move on to our guest speaker, John Guzman, here speaking on the Blue Horizons campus. Club maintenance.
Oh. I'd like to make a motion to limit the guest speaker section to 15 minutes to count the longest I think in election.
Do I hear a second? Here in a second, there's no discussion or debate on that. Is there? I don't think so. So if that's the pleasure of the Senate, okay, all those in favor of the motion on the table, which is to limit the presentation and discussion to 15 minutes. Keep in mind, if you're a senator, you now also vote too, even if you're just one. But okay. There we go. All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority, that passes. Okay.
Where's presentation?
While we are working on putting that out. John, before
All right, everybody. Hello, my name is John Guzman. I represent many hats on this university, but today I'm representing the Division of Marketing and Communications at the University of Maine. I'm the intern there, and we're going to be talking about the new campaign, the Blue Horizons. Not necessarily a rebrand, but a re-image of the University of Maine and kind of our values and what we uphold through this new brand. So once Riley pulls that up, actually Riley, I'm gonna send you a link to a video, the Blue Horizons video first, that I want you to play, and then we'll go into the presentation at hand. So you should have gotten the link right about now. I like sending it to you right now. Or should we send it?
I think there we go, sorry.
It'll give like context to what I'm about to go into. So that's the video for basically the new Blue Horizons launch. And then what Riley's gonna show next is basically the slide deck that we show to administration. We're not gonna go over all these slides. This was mainly for administration to kind of view. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna talk about the brand platform and kind of what that means. So if Riley can just continue scrolling down. Yeah, we'll pass this foundational messaging to go to the next one, terminology breakdown. So we're going to talk about it's like our purpose, who we are, what we do, how we do it, our story, and our commitment. So we're just going to breeze right through this because this isn't really necessarily what I'm here to, talk to UMSG about. So if we could just go down right there. All right. Basically, just keep scrolling. So like encompassing our entire purpose, what we want at the University of Maine is to ensure a vibrant tomorrow for Maine and beyond. And the personality that we're gonna go into is stewardship. We care for people and the planet. We're rooted, we are deeply rooted and branching out and dependable. So you can count on us as a university. So continuing over our strategic drivers. So what pushes this mission? What we do, we are a school that tackles climate action. We provide an evergreen education, enable curiosity, have an inclusive community, and made for Maine. We really push the initiative of small business and care about Maine and the future generation. So continuing on, brand pillars, we talk about exploration, we talk about ingenuity, and we talk about collaboration. So how do we do it? And then all of this is combined, so by being steward, rooted, dependable, focusing on climate action, evergreen education, enabling curiosity, inclusive community, made for Maine, and acting through exploration, ingenuity, and collaboration, we will ensure a vibrant tomorrow for Maine and beyond. And then going down, so just keep scrolling down, Riley, until you see kind of like the brand mark that we're using. So yeah, keep going. So yeah, this is gonna be kind of like the new encompassing terminology that we're gonna use for this grant campaign, which is Pursue Blue Horizons. So it was collectively a group of 16 individuals across the campus, including, heads from Marcom, and other administrative heads kind of giving input. But James over there actually, sitting in the corner, was a part of this process. One of the people a part of this process to create what is now Blue Horizons and what we're gonna push forward in our brand initiative. So Riley, if you can go to the original email I sent you. No, actually, can you go to the Senate group chat with the link? So in the Senate group chat, sent a link to display, which is really what I'm here to talk about and get your opinion on, because it's actually super important. So, yeah, so in the Senate chat, if you're in that, you can click the link and you can comment on this. But essentially, Riley, can you click on the right to the page view, I think it is, like where the page is, so we can just do it by page, yeah. So this, what I wanted to get the opinion of the Senate on, is that these billboards, these are concept for billboards that are gonna go out to Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Connecticut. So what I'm here to present to you today is these concepts, and I want your feedback on it. So you're one of the 3 foundational groups that were picked exclusively to give feedback on these billboards and which ones are gonna go out, but specifically what changes need to be made before we're able to target that audience, which is, incoming students, parents, alumni thinking about sending their students here. And we're really gonna be competing with our competitors. So these are gonna be placed strategically next to UConn, next to Boston University, UNH. So we're really gonna be competing with them. So this is where I open it up to like questions. You can also comment directly on there, like I said on the link, and kind of just go through the favorites. So if you want to just open it up to questions, comments, concerns about what we like, what we don't like, in page 4, page 3, page 2, page 1. I also have copies over there if you want to pass those out up next to Marcus, and so everybody can kind of see, just kind of give your feedback on these, because they're going to be a part of what actually goes up on display, and what if we change these, the wording that we take from these different concepts and put together into one. So yeah, I mean, if I want to hand it over back to Memphis if you want to take it.
Are there any questions for the speaker? Go back.
This is amazing. All of these different concepts are incredible looking and really awesome for the school. As for the design input, I will be voting on any of this, but personally, I think the first one with all the different wording, it shows what you're trying to put out to the world, what UMaine is supposed to be, what we're supposed to do, and it gives the, I don't know, the sort of energy that I think we should be showing other schools and people who are especially from other states. It was a billboard that made me realize that UMaine even existed back home in Massachusetts. So I think that the first design with all the words is, in my personal opinion, the best one.
Any other questions for the speaker, Senator Merchant?
So this is, it's mainly directed to, I think, it's to Riley, if you could bring that up by any chance.
Page 2.
Yeah, page 2, one that has Blue Horizon. I don't know, me personally, I like that much better, because if I'm either walking in a city and I'm like going to like very busy work, see this, or I'm driving, visually speaking, it's not a lot. It's not like a lot of those ad commercials where it's like, look at this, like we can look at this like right now, process all of this. It's very easy to look on. It's very like simple in a sense, but it's very like it still raises questions about what is Blue Horizons, who's like designing yours, for their organization. Is this something that I'd be interested in? And it brings people like to be curious about it. So I'm personally hired for that section.
Any other questions for the speaker, Senator Bone?
So John, would this be or Representative Guzman, would this be like a video billboard that's gonna cycle through like each page, or would this be a printed, just one of these like vans?
Yeah, so it'll be printed, so so what we're calling them is heroes, so the heroes on each of these billboards will be presented across the 3 different states. So, yeah, that's to answer your question, and then for context, like, think about if you were like driving down the highway, so it's gonna be like a I-95, I-84. You know, you're taking a glimpse at this for like 3 seconds max, if anything. So like, think about it in that way, like, what is really gonna stick out and really make this memorable?
Any other questions for the speaker? Senator Martin.
Are you, is not, are you representative?
Right now, I'm not a representative, just let me know.
Okay, John, I really like the second one and the fourth one. I like how it's very simple, as you said, if I'm driving on 95, on 15, I would be able to do that really quickly. I have a little bit of criticism on the first one. I don't like how the writing is a little bit off kilter. Yeah.
Any other questions from the speaker, Senator Ricker?
Yeah, general like suggestions are fine, right?
Yeah, general suggestions are fine.
I think the most effective ones are the ones where it's portraying visually what exactly you mean kind of brings. Like, especially when these are gonna be next to like Yukon, Boston University, et cetera, et cetera. I think what's gonna pull students in is the exact kind of, I guess, picture that they might see themselves going into. If they're going into like an engineering field, seeing like an engineer sitting in front of a, like that sort of stuff, like the more picture based ones that students would be able to, yeah.
Any other questions for the speaker, President Drew?
If go back to the second page. This one's my favorite because I like how there's a literal transition from a blue horizon to the pictures, and that is all I have.
Any other questions for the speaker, Senator Cho?
I think the best ones would probably be page 1, page 2, just because. It, like I said, 3 seconds, it says University of Maine exists, look, we have. Like aquatic majors, environmental type majors, mechanical science majors, like it says like this is what we have in school, we have forestry majors, plus we exist. It's advertising pretty well.
Any other questions for the speaker, Senator Sparks?
I definitely think that the second one would be the best, because as you said, when you were driving down a highway, you have a very brief period of time to read it, and as like an aesthetically like composite thing. For the other ones, it's you look at the middle in the picture and then words on the left and words on the right. Whereas this one, it's just you look at the words and then you can move all over to the picture and it's only 2 things to look at as opposed to 3 things. So.
All right, so what I want to say is, so from the looks of it, it's like 1 and 2 are the most popular among the crowd. So considering just 1 and 2 of these concepts, is there anything you would plug from each of these individually to another? What would you change between 1 and 2 to incorporate both concepts in a certain way, or would you just choose one over the other?
Senator Reader Seaver?
Yeah, I actually like the first one better because it's not as just like repetitive as the second one. The second one says explore blue horizons. This is more in depth. It's more creative in my opinion.
Any more hands, Senator Fang?
I think for any of them, I like the ones that say University of Maine on them. Specifically, my issue with the fourth one is that if you're not paying attention, especially as you said, driving by fast on the highway, it almost just looks like an advertisement for the state of Maine. So I think for any of them, make sure it says, or my suggestion is that it should always say the words University of Maine.
Any other questions for the speakers? Senator, please remind me. Weber, Senator Weber?
Is Blue Horizons like the slogan, is that gonna be somewhere, like if you search that up, let's bring you to like a website or anything?
Yes.
In that case, I would like the second one, because it does, if it's like an introduction and like, this is where you apply, I think that makes it. Or if not, I do think having University of Maine be kind of first, but if not, I think that is.
Senator Martin?
I think on the second one, the University of Maine
logo should be slightly more bigger. Cause I might be able to see Maine, but might not be able to see the whole title of this institution.
Any other questions from the speaker, Representative Davis?
I really preferred like aesthetics of the second one, like the gradient. President Tripp was talking about the like literal horizon. I think that's what the one that looks like the best aesthetically. But I kind of prefer the messaging on the first one of the like welcome to a place of that. Like somebody was saying, I don't remember who it was about, but like it's not just the same thing. There's like differences between them. But specifically, I feel like the like welcome like wording kind of fits more with the like humane brand as I've seen it, and like the it feels like the like main shtick of like we're a welcoming and a friendly place. Like I feel like that works better.
Thank you. So that was our 15 minutes. That was motion and passed. Do you have any other closing statements or anything more for the Senate?
Oh, no, thank you so much for your time. This will be really helpful for creating the finalized product of what these billboards are gonna look like. So hopefully, if you travel down to Boston, or go down to UNH for whatever reason. And driving Connecticut, you'll be able to see these billboards in full effect, and you know you were a part of the process to create the finalized product. So thank you for your time, and now you understand what the Blue Horizons brand is, because not everyone is getting it, and we're trying to make people get it. So with that, thank you.
Thank you. On to executive reports, which questions at the end are open to non-members. We will start with the president of UMSG.
All right, hi guys. I'm gonna get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. Number one, I got my exec fund usage back from the lockers. It was more than I wanted it to be. But the final amount was $455.48. It turned out that there needed to be more because we needed to pay extra for like a lowering deck and to be installed. There's just more to it. But good news, lockers are totally ordered. But I'll get to that in a second. The other thing is that I dropped the kind of a compilation of the survey report into the chat. All of you should have had access to that. I'm gonna be going through that kind of next week, hopefully through new business. It won't take too long. I've marked up a document, so I'm gonna go through and kind of touch the highlights. I think it'll be good for us to go through it as a Senate. This isn't something we've done before, but there's a lot of division specific stuff. We have some things that rep boards can be pulled into. And yeah, this is the criticism of our organization. So I hope that you all will review it before next meeting. Moving into new stuff, I first wanted to say to all of our new senators, welcome. I'm gonna sound a little bit like a student governor for a second, but when I first got to the Senate, it was just me, Senator Ricker, and Vice President Peterson as senators, and you're now starting the year with one of the biggest numbers we've seen in almost 8 years. So that's really awesome. And for those of you who are kind of taking your first steps in this organization, I'm happy to have you. And please do not hesitate to reach out if you need anything. Moving on to lockers, as I said, they've been ordered. To my rep boards, I'm gonna give you all first dibs in terms of getting one of the lockers. Again, what I'm gonna stress is that this is like a necessity thing, and there are clubs that really do struggle. So if your org really doesn't need a locker, I would appreciate it if you would decline it and pass it along. But I do know that some of you have some stuff to store because some of it's still in my office. But we're gonna get to that, no rush again. And I've actually had a good time. John came down, Representative Guzman came down, and we went through some of the stuff, and it's some really cool stuff, Representative Blea too. So if anybody wants to go through just some old pictures, let me know. They're in my office and they haven't been touched in a long time, so it might be cool to score through that. But I'll be working with the SOC, the VPSO, and PolyPro once we elect that to get up some policy about management, how we're going to choose it, assuming like a first come first serve basis. And then also I wanna get some magnet paper, so that we can get stickers, the boards, and cut them out, but that's more of a fun little thing. Anyway, moving on, I'm having a meeting tomorrow with Catherine Huntress of CSI about the esports arena. If you did not know, for some of you who maybe knew, the esports arena downstairs was purchased widely by UMSG. And we have a memorandum of understanding with the Center of Student Involvement to kind of manage that. So I'll be essentially just starting conversations with that. Last year, we put through a funding request that had to, were required to maintain the space as well as the equipment. It was a pretty hefty amount, but it shouldn't be anytime soon, just because that was a good refresh. So I'll come with updates on that. Cabinet, if you are in cabinet, that is rep boards and executives, we're gonna have you stay again after this. We shouldn't have any business to vote on, but we're all gonna take a little survey on when cabinet will be. I'll be putting my cabinet senators through next week, once people kind of get their chairships figured out and whatnot. Partly because I did forget, so that's my bad. But also because once we figure out a time for cabinet, I can let the senators, who I will be appointing now, and make sure they can make it or not. Next week is the week that I have had all of the executives. I'm requiring them to come to Senate with goals. I talked about this last meeting. But last year it was started by our former president, Michael. For all of us to kind of come in with goals for the year. I think it's a good way to set sights for how we want to do it. We only have 29 weeks and this is our second one. They go by fast, so I encourage all of you to kind of prioritize what you want to get done because it goes by quicker than you'd expect. Next, I had my first alumni board meeting. That was fun. That was at the Buchanan yesterday. It started with a tour of the Alfond and the renovation so far. It just kind of looks ripped up. It wasn't anything super special, but they're getting to work on that, and I have some updates about it. Just because I thought I'd provide them. The expected completion is fall 25. Currently, they're leaving the necessary parts for the hockey season untouched, so that once we, win our national title, they're gonna move into the other space, but they wanna make sure that that's untouched, for the season. Heads up, this is something that we talked about, I talked with President Pretty Monday as well during the board meeting. The class of 2025 will not be walking in the Alfond. They won't be graduating in the Alfond. This is something that I've been told the university is working on getting the word out of, but it was in a public board meeting, so I thought I'd give you all a heads up now. President Pretty Monday has said that I would be brought in on when we start working on getting the message out about this. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. Class of 26ers, not to immediately slap, sad, but I've been assured that we will be back in the Alfond for graduation and we'll be the first to walk in the new Alfond. But again, I know that it's kind of a big deal, especially for those who've been here for a long time. And I am sorry about that for those of you graduating this year. And then the only other things from the alumni meeting is that I started conversations about with the head of the foundation about a little financial project that I will delve into a little later this semester. And then that's all I have for new business. I just have one last thing, bear with me. March Against Domestic Violence. This is a yearly event that happens each year on campus. I've been in touch throughout the summer with Nori Jones. She's a professor in the Maine Business School. She's also heading the project. I know a few other orgs represented in this body are part of this. But I've kind of pledged UMSG's support in regards to just getting the words out. And I will be plugging things into my report as we get closer. They are hosting a poster making party in the Topman Room from 4 to 6 on September 30th. They're gonna make posters so that everybody has something to wave around during the event. The march itself is going to be on October 18th. It's a Friday from 5 to 6, and it starts in the steps of Vogler. And if you're interested in helping out with this, please let me know. I can get you in touch with the team. They're looking for volunteers, hands, just general people to get involved with it. Again, that's a really important yearly event, and we played a part last year, and I encourage you all to also attend. Additionally, I was going to wait until we got kind of the year going, but I've been acting as a liaison between this group, but I have My goal is to not overwhelm my plate this year, which happens really quickly. I'm happy to continue to do it, and I'm gonna be volunteering myself. But if anybody is like especially passionate about this and want to kind of take this on as a little side project starting now, let me know and you can kind of take the headway for your industry on that. Up to you, no problem. I'm happy to keep doing it. And yeah, that is the end of my report. Thank you guys.
Thank you. As for my report, it is my obligation as the president of the Senate to let you all know that the Maine Business School Senate seats are now full as of tonight, with all of the other colleges except for education also slowly but surely filling up. What this constitutes, at least to my understanding, is we are going to be doing Senate elections this year, which I'm pretty sure it's never happened. What that entails is for all of the veteran senators here, and even all the incoming ones, you all turned in nomination forms, and that basically just gave you a seat. Well, that's because you were running for an unopposed seat. So what we have to do now is before the month of October, anybody who's interested in being a senator next school year, or next calendar year, that's the terms for senators, you're gonna have to do those nominations and get them turned into either myself, VPSL Oldfield, or the FEPC chair. And we're kind of working this out as we go. We're working on the time. I'm gonna let the FEPC chair go over this, but yeah, at least start thinking about it, start considering your priorities, because this is now a competitive campaign for your sentences. Yes, and all of that does go into effect in January when the next session starts. So all of you are good right now. You were all sworn into your seats, but there is a chance you'll be campaigning for them for next year, so just keep that in mind. Tonight, we're going to have our second round of nominations, and then following that, we'll have the elections for all of these Senate positions and chairships. So just in case you're a new senator, what that means is you still have a chance to try to earn these positions. We're gonna go through the entire process like we did last week, explaining what the positions are, explaining who can hold them, what their responsibilities would be. Just a refresher for all the new senators, as a senator, you have requirements to hold your seat. That's not just consistent attendance, that means you either hold a committee chairship or you attend committees and hold various ex officio positions, but we'll explain that later. I also ordered binders for each of those Senate committees, where now that we have a full Senate, it means that we really need to start cracking down on these Senate requirements, which you have to not just attend this meeting, but also whatever committee you're a part of. So those binders, whoever chairs those, we're gonna hold on to those. That's where they're gonna keep their minutes on their agendas and attendance. Anybody who misses too many meetings are then referred to me, where I have a action plan discussion with you to figure out how you can keep being a standing here in the Senate. I'm also actively reading for our governing docs. This is what I did a lot of this weekend, especially regarding Senate elections. I've also been taking notes of ways that they can be cleaned up, things that just need to be updated. I can't really do anything until we have a policy and procedure committee, when hopefully after something cool. And that's pretty much it. Please let me know if anyone has questions, comments, concerns, or questions. Now we have the Vice President of Financial Affairs.
Hello, everyone. So funding request, I've been pretty slow starting this year as we've had two EDCs that have had no attendance. But I promise you, that will not stay the same, as I've gotten a boatload of emails recently about people trying to get some funding. So hopefully next week will be the first week that actual requests are coming in. Besides that, I've started one of my baby projects, which is to gather all of the like outside UMSG funding or places where clubs can get funding, like schools or organizations who they're through. So hopefully that will be like a month, maybe possibly 2-month project that'll be usually going. But besides that, some numbers for tonight. Our starting and allocated is $71,427.27. We had $545.32 return from Sigma Phi Epsilon, and we received our first student activity fee installment check, or $367,000, and then $367,936. Oh my gosh, and 60 cents. You can read it. And report.
Vice President for Student Organization.
Hi guys, nothing much today, just some quick notes. I'm gonna be out of town, out of the office Thursday and Friday, so I'm hoping to send office hours tomorrow at midday from 12 to 4. SOC tomorrow, if we do end up having it, which is looking unlikely, but I'll let you all know, that's gonna be at 3:30 to 4:30 instead of 4 to 5 like it is regularly. Rest of the year, it's gonna be 4 to 5. This one time, it's gonna be 3:30 to 4:30 if we end up having it. Also looking to get into some like club spotlight sort of things. So if any of you guys know of any clubs that are killing it recently, just let me know and I will check them out.
Vice President for Student Energy.
Hello, everyone. So last week I kind of hinted on the fall show a bit, so I'm going to here give a little bit more description of it. So we are moving from a May Day big show format to a smaller show format, which is exciting, I think. So like last year we did a Sammy Ray show, it was a Joe Gatto show. Which I think, well, it didn't go very well, so I think that this format is going to work a lot better moving forward because we have gotten higher attendance and all that. We will be announcing the fall show, which and all that stuff on Monday, September 7th. I'm working with DFC Downer right now, or she's doing a lot. She's doing what?
October 7th.
Did I say October
You
7th?
said September 7th.
Oh,
It's like we're
for what? What am I?
You're announcing the show on October 7th.
No, we're announcing the show September 23rd. I don't know where that came from. September 23rd, next Monday. DFC Downer is working on the poster and it's exciting. I've been working with ticketing with the CCA for that to try to make that a smoother process for them. Working with CSI to figure out that process as well. But as we are moving to this smaller artist format, an SEC is essential. So if you are a senator, you be on SEC. There's election tonight, so put your name in. If not, you can still join. Just won't count for requirements because I get to make that decision. I don't know how to run it, but an SEC is very important and we're trying to get student voices out, so we're going to be doing a lot of tabling this year for it. And if you have friends that are curious about student entertainment, please tell them to come to student entertainment, which meets Mondays 1 to 2 in my office. And then lastly, we're going to be going into executive session at some point to discuss movie tickets and then go forward.
Vice President for Student Education.
Hi, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. First, I want to say I'm excited by how much interest we have in student government this year. It's kind of wild. There's so many of us at the table already. But because there were, I think, almost 11 of you today that were invested, I ran out of binders. So if you don't have a binder, I will have them for you next week. While we do all your onboarding, you'll get your binder then. And if you don't have a name tag, we'll also have that for next week. It was just a matter of when your application went in, so when the name tags got printed. So I'll make sure everyone has all of their stuff for next meeting, assuming you finish your onboarding by the next meeting, and if not, you'll get your binder when you do that. Speaking of onboarding, I'll be sending out an email to all of you with a form. So we can set up all your onboarding meetings. They'll be a half hour long, possibly shorter. Shouldn't be too complicated. I'm just gonna walk through some things with you. Outside of new senator stuff, I'm working on the new brochure, which I think is looking pretty nice. And if you're interested, you can take a look at it. Let me know you're interested, give your thought if you'd like to. And I'll also be reaching out to Kelly Sparks in the next couple of days to look more into the garden project I briefly mentioned last meeting. And if you're interested in that project, also reach out to me. And with Jeff and Cam's help, thank you guys. I will be starting student leadership scholarship applications, which we run every year in the fall to give to students in the spring semester for their tuition. Will open next week on Monday. Just a reminder that senators and any paid positions on student government cannot apply for those, but please let your friends know, have them apply when they're open on Monday this week. And then report, thank you.
Thank you. Advisor to student government.
Just gonna put a quick plug in for Family and Friends Weekend. It's not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after. So on September 28th. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. out on the mall. I know we worked with Dylan. We'll have the knocker ball set from student government. We'll have food trucks out there, axe throwing, mini golf, a mechanical bull for a limited amount at the beginning of it. You can make your own street sign or make your own license plate. If your families want to register, the last date and time for pre-registration is Sunday at midnight. After that, they can register a check-in, and the events are free to students. So bring your families with you and just come to our check-in table so we can get you everything.
Introduce.
Hi, everyone. My name is James Lee. I'm the Director of Student Involvement. I am Lori Sadako's proxy, so you'll probably see her and I be tag teaming out with the advice.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? Vice President Rob. Any questions for the speakers? Senator Ricker?
Question with as an trip. When it, if the is there any like public information about the alternative for 2025 walking the spring, like where that would be, or if there is something alternate other than walk?
Yep, it's happening at the Bangor Cross Insurance Center, I believe. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that. I think Sussex has it there. Okay, yeah.
So it was announced by the Bangor Cross Insurance Center that it's going to be May 11th, which is a Sunday. Hudson's is May 10th, ours is originally on the same day for undergraduate students, and then it's classically graduates on Friday, undergraduates on Saturday, but they have had to move it, so Hudson is graduating at the Cross Insurance Center on May 10th, and we, as an undergraduate body of 2025, are graduating on that Sunday, the 11th.
It's a simple for me, that's for my little brothers.
What about information, is that like final?
Yes.
11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for the speakers? Senator Martone?
This is a question for President Tripp. Is there a projected time when the lockers are gonna be installed? You said that you already ordered them, right?
Yeah, they haven't sent like a tracking number yet. We ordered them last week, which is like kind of problematic, but it sounds like they are actually, I don't know if a bunch of people are ordering school lockers, but they're like, we're really overbooked. I was like, okay, but it'll likely, you'll just see them probably appear. I'm waiting literally on a phone call and I'm gonna run from wherever I am to come out, put them up. And it'll probably be a week or two even after then, before they're online, and then policy and whatnot. So I'm hoping, certainly by the end of this semester, I'm hoping much sooner than that. Yeah.
Any other questions for the speakers? Senator Demerchant?
Okay, so it's directed to VP Peterson. Can you clarify again with the whole election stuff, because you threw out like January, so I just want to get like the details all ironed out again.
So according to our standing rules, which I am gonna go through and change because there are quite a few contradictions, obviously they've never been used before, so they need to be ironed out. What it entails is by the end of October, there's supposed to be an election period for each of the senators, which I'm gonna try to write it and make it clear. If senators are going to campaign within their own colleges, or if you want an at-large seat, you campaign to the at-large student body. You're going to have a solid 2-week period or so after you turn in your nomination papers, like all of you already have. You turn that in, and then you're set loose for 2 weeks to campaign to your fellow college members. And then there's going to be probably a 1-day election period, probably just a classic 8 to 5, where only people from the seats that you're running for can vote for a certain number of people. So say I want to vote within the Maine Business School. I look at the ballot and say that there's 5 people. I pick the 3 people that I want in there. And then after the election period's over, the 3 people with the most votes in each of the colleges, 3 for Maine Business School, 8 for CLAS, 10 for at-large. Those top 10 or top 7 or top 3 all get their Senate seats, and then they become senators elect. And then in January, they get sworn in on the first meeting of that year. Did that answer your question?
I I still have like one thing, so it's you said it's next calendar year, so it's 2025, 2026.
No, only the year 2025. You start first meeting of January, your seat is vacated on the last meeting in December. Okay. Any other questions from the speakers? Representative Britton?
I think President Trump, but also maybe whoever it may concern, is the graduate election or graduation also happening at the, where's that?
I imagine it must be, because it's not happening at the Alpha, so.
I will put in this point of information, it's all on the crop insurance website, I have a link. From all Maine women, because we're all graduating seniors, and I would put it in the Senate chat for everybody to see, if you may concern.
It's not so much that this is like secret information, it's just not something that has been properly put out. Which, so now they have, anyway, continue.
Any other questions from the speakers? Representative Blair?
I also have a question, but also on the UMaine's like commencement, like homepage, it's no longer last year's information, they have all of this on the website, so I actually found this out like a week ago, because I checked it on accident. But, questions for President Tripp, have you ever told us how large the lockers are? Like,
Oh, I do have dementia, so you wanna come back to me in a second?
Any other questions from the speakers? Senator Fang?
Question for VP Peterson, when are we getting the Roberts rules back?
When I remember to do it, so next week.
Okay, thank you.
If you have any suggestions about rules or motions or protocols that you'd like announced to the rest of the Senate, send me an email, I'll consider it. President Tripp?
The lockers are 3 feet wide, 6 feet tall, and 24 inches deep. It's a locker, yeah, so, for clubs that are larger, again, it's not going to entirely solve the thing, but hopefully it'll alleviate some of it. And especially with my rep boards who have associated departments and rooms, especially in this this building. I know it's been a headache trying to get things stored there, but I would like to start those conversations on student governments and soon too.
Any other questions for the speakers? Please state your name.
Senator Cowan.
Go ahead.
Question or I guess comment for President Tripp. You mentioned wanting a March Against Domestic Violence liaison. I've already been going to a lot of the meetings with Nori Jones, so I'm more than happy to take that over.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would, not because I want to be like, but I just have a lot going on right now, so I appreciate that. Thanks.
Any other questions from the speakers? Representative Slack?
For Senator Cowan, I am also working on that for the Honors College, so if you need anybody to carry off of, I'm also involved in that.
Any other questions from the speakers? Seeing none, we will now move on to periodic reports. Being that most of these seats are vacant, we're just going to move on to the ones that are occupied, starting with the University of Maine Board of Trustees student representative.
Well, I'm Olivia, I'm the board of trustees representative. If you don't know me. There was a board meeting on Monday, which I mentioned last week, I couldn't attend, just because I couldn't get full with this lab, I'll be able to the one, I haven't had time to watch the whole YouTube video of the meeting yet, so I don't have notes uploaded yet, but I'll get through it over the next week and report the important things to you, or what you might find interesting. I did hear from the UMF undergrad reps about what they talked about in the private meetings. He said they did not have any updates on the student trustee, but it was discussed that the rep presentations at ASA meeting, they might be making it so we only do that every other meeting instead of every meeting, which I think applies to faculty reps too. But they think that we can present at additional committee meetings, not just ASA, so it sort of evens out the person, student voices, being heard, I guess. There was also something, I felt like a more sentence fill-in about this, but he said there was something about faculty who are tenured, sharing political views in classes, students complaining about it, and they couldn't complain back to this tenure. And I'm kind of confused about what exactly that means, but apparently it's like a topic of conversation and there will be more to come. So once I know more of that, I will let you know. Also, I've been in touch with the FA and potentially President Tripp about restarting the bi-weekly meetings that Sparks that Paige and I were doing last year, just to sort of updated on what we're doing and get updates on what's happening.
Chair of the Fair Election Practice Institution.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zoe for all. So Vice President Peterson touched on this. I met with him this week as well as VPSO Oldfield to talk about the possibility of senator elections. Now it's looking like confirmed. Just because of the sudden influx of new senators in this semester, which is really exciting. We just haven't seen this many senators in a long time. So we're kind of ironing out some problems in the guidelines and what senator elections may look like. So I've been working on ballots that may be sent out, those kind of things that you would see in a normal executive election. They're just kind of not on a miniature scale, but it's kind of one day of voting. So yeah, those are still being ironed out. If you have questions, you can always ask. I have also been working on the timeline for the executive elections. Just trying to get them set in stone in my head before presenting them to anyone else. Just to make sure they line up with our vacations and breaks and stuff, because I can't imagine running for a position and having to wait spring break before coming back. That I would not want to do that, so I'm trying to avoid having that happen again. Also, I'm trying to build my committee for the elections. You don't have to be voted onto it. You can just join. I don't have a time that I'm meeting. I'm waiting until someone joins and we can find like the most accommodating time. So if you or anyone, you know, it doesn't have to be a senator or representative or anyone, be any student, send it my way. We'll find a time to meet. The only caveat to the committee is you have to be completely impartial to any elections that are held. So for our executive elections, if you know you want to run, or if you know someone who is planning to run who you're trying to endorse, please don't try to join the committee so I don't have to excuse you from it. Just because it's a conflict of interest, we'll be dealing with the ballots and stuff. Yeah. That's it. That's important.
Director of Communications.
Great. Hello, everybody. So this week I've been working on the poster for the PSE. I've also got the YouTube info, so the edited Senate video from last meeting is posted on YouTube. And then, yeah, just keep it up with the Instagram. And that's all.
Director of Technology.
All right, let's see. I guess some people have done, so I'll just do it as well. For anyone who's new and does not remember me, that's okay. My name is Riley. So let's see. What news do I have? Right, okay, so this is especially important for all those that get a committee chair. I'm making a second Google Calendar for committees specifically, so it's actually easier to read it. Please put your meeting time into there. I don't want to have to hunt you down, but I will hunt you down if I must. Other than that, let's see, looking into connecting our Zoom with YouTube, so we can easily embed that into our site, so it's nice and pretty. Let's see, and other than that, I've updated executive files, I think everyone's in now, and I worked with VPFA Bois to get his forms almost all onto the website. I got like a couple. End of report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we will move on to the reports of standing committees, where there's only one at the moment, marketing and public relations.
Oh, no report, sorry.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the speaker? Great. Now, reports for special committees, those are all vacant as well. So we will move on to the representative board reports, starting with commuter and non-traditional students.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, I can't, it doesn't have my picture, but I'm here.
This
Okay.
is Senator Meredith Waters.
Yes, I am not Kenzie. We're just like girls. Okay. Okay. CANS planned and organized its first meeting and event. Additionally, it met with CNTSP and has decided to plan an October monthly schedule for events and tabling. Below are next week's plans. Yeah, I don't know if this is this week. This is this week or next week. This is half this week and half next week because it was written on Friday. CANS will provide goodies in the Wade Center for commuters next Tuesday, which is the 24th. And then CANS first meeting is this Wednesday, tomorrow, the 18th. First meeting of fall 2024 semester. The goal is to find a CANS representative within the meeting so that I'm no longer proxy. And then the president and grad student lead of CNTSP and vice president will be attending weekly CANS meetings until the end of September to schedule future events in October. End of report.
Thank you. Honors College student activity.
Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well. The Honors College events are in full swing. It's already very busy. I am meeting with Dr. Ellen Weinauer, the Dean of the Honors College, on the 24th to talk about plans for the Student Activities Board and connectivity in the Honors College as a whole. We're also, as a group, reaching out to preceptors of Honors 111 and 211, the first semester freshman and sophomore classes to talk to the student body about what we do as well as what I do. Hopefully I will be able to fit everything into my schedule to explain my position as representative and open up my office hours, which I'm still working on because S-Group is no longer a space in which I can sit in. But that is okay. We're also slowly planning our service project of the semester, which is the It's Personal campaign. To explain, it is a personal care drive that we run with a sort of March Madness mentality of getting different departments to donate as much as they can, and that is shampoo, conditioner, toothbrush, toothpaste, things like that. It's been a huge success and we're hoping to do that for this November. We're also beginning to organize our just plain old events for the semester in conjunction with the Honors College. We're hoping that our first SUV based event is tie-dyeing Honors and UMaine gear at the end of the month. And May Day Meal Pack Out. The May Day Meal Pack Out Committee has its first meeting this Thursday that I am organizing and report on for next week. And we look forward.
Thank you. Intro Fraternity Council.
Hey everyone, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Jacob Harquist. I'm the Fraternity Council representative and president. So this past week, last Tuesday, we held a successful ordering meeting at the Collins Center, which is basically kind of just like a warm up to the beginning of the year for the Greek community. I got to hear from a lot of prominent voices, so that was good. Starting this week, the Greek Life office is going to be hosting the weekend warm up every Thursday. So that's basically just like Thursday night programming for all students to enjoy. This week, it's going to be karaoke in the den from 6 to 8. That's the CSI space. So for anyone who wants to go, you're more than welcome to head over there on Thursday night. And then also our meetings this semester for IFC are going to be in the Bangor room every Wednesday at 6:30.
And Hellenic Council.
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Blanchett. For those of you who don't know me, and I'm the Hellenic Council President and Representative. We had a really successful recruitment weekend. We were planning a few COV events for 2 of our chapters that didn't end up hitting chapter total. So be on the lookout for those if you're interested. And our weekly panel meetings are going to be from 7:30 to 8 p.m. in the Bangor room on Wednesdays.
Thank you. Senior class council, does anybody have that report?
It is a small report, so my apologies. Senior class council has found its meeting day, which is going to be Wednesdays from 7 to 8 in Alumni Hall. That's the only place that we could find, and that's okay. We are also finding somebody else to be proxy, as Stelnick is not on the make the actual meetings. So we are figuring that out as we go, and we're hoping that this week we're going to find some fundraisers to do. End of report.
Thank you. Student Athletic Advisory Council.
So we just had our first meeting for SAC, first general meeting yesterday at 6. We discussed just goals for the year, as well as discussing volunteering and fundraising opportunities. So I'm just gonna say this, like if anyone has any volunteering opportunities, if you want student athletes to help them volunteer, just reach out to me. We really want to get our presence into the community this year, really focus on that. So if there's anything, just let us know.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speakers? Seeing none, we'll move on to community association reports, starting with the Student Heritage Alliance.
Yeah, hello, everybody. My name is John Guzman. I'm the Student Heritage Alliance Council representative and president. Yeah, so SHAC had a jam-packed meeting last Thursday talking about, a lot of things, including prospective advisor replacements for our old one, Taylor Ashley, who is no longer with the university and is in Spain. So talking about alternative options to that. So the person we have in mind is, I think her name is Daisy Singh. She's the dean of the library. So definitely making contact with her. I already spoke with her this morning. We did a preliminary review of like administrative affairs, so like updates to our organizational contact list, so I can know who to message. And talking about like budget allocation into the year with all the money that we have accumulated from the HAM grant, but also that budget allocation for student government that we have as well from the previous semester. We discussed slow and progressive alterations to our constitution over the academic year because the SHAC Constitution was not left in the best place. And we further discussed the detail of the 4 events that I mentioned at last week's Senate meeting. And finally, we discussed the SHAC document archive that Keegan stumbled upon in the student government offices. So eventually I have to make an appointment and trek down to the student gov offices and really take a deep dive into what all those documents are and the report.
Thank you. Any word on the feminist collective? No. Then we'll move on to Wild Stuff.
So we had our first meeting of the year, and I think it went smooth as it's gone any of the past years, and at least chaotic. So that's good. We're still having an issue accessing campus groups. You've heard me talk about that before, contacting people, but no one is responding to my emails. In lighter news, we found out an alumni set up a fund to financially assist Wildstone members, specifically with costs associated with gender transitioning, counseling, and the more obvious cost of like hormones and surgery. So we're currently in the process of working with the University of Maine Foundation to figure out what that means exactly and how to organize using those funds and giving those funds out to members that need them. But it's a very exciting process. So, end of report.
Thank you. International Student Association.
Hello, everyone. My name is Greta Kulinbayev. I'm the representative of the United States. We had our second meeting yesterday. We discussed a lot of issues the ideas and discussed this week's coffee hour. And last week's coffee hour is very good, especially with President Tree when he's visit and speech. Afterward, we took a group photo from the library and ice cream. This week's coffee hour, we're planning to
have a birthday celebration for Jules. Who's very who's been visiting coffee hours frequently, and we'll have a very big cake and coffee. So please come and celebrate Jules' birthday with us. And also we're looking for ideas to collaborate with Honors College. I'm an honors student, and I think it'd be nice to invite their students to attend ISA events like coffee hour, culture festival, or national dance festival. I think that for honor students it'd be really important to learn about culture in different countries. Yeah, so please come to coffee hour at 4 p.m. on Friday, on spot here in the
Hey, are there any questions for the speakers? Representative Levesque?
Or Representative Dotmeyer, I would love to work with you. And I would be probably at this.
Awesome. Are there any other questions for the speakers? Seeing none, if it is the pleasure of the Senate, we will be moving into a 5-minute recess. We will reconvene at 7:11. I'm now calling the meeting back to order. Nothing on the consent agenda, nothing in new business, well, nothing in unfinished business. So we're moving on to new business, which are the second round of nominations, followed by the elections. So just for all the new members here, the process for this is we're going to go pretty much down the agenda, and all positions that are voted into will each have a chance. How it works is anybody sitting here at the table can nominate somebody else. That needs to be followed by a senator seconding that motion to nominate them, and then whoever's nominated needs to accept it. So we're gonna go down the list. I'm gonna list everybody who's already been nominated and accepted the nomination. Following that next nomination period, where we can have new people, you can nominate yourself, but a senator still has to second it. You can also rescind your nomination if you consider. That will be followed by each of the nominees will get a chance to express their virtue, express their ideas for this position, why they should have it. And then that will be followed by our FD chair, our president, just various executives facilitating an election. For most of the positions, you only write down the one name that you want in it. When we get to committees, we'll that because it gets a little different. So we are going to start with the faculty senate student representatives. Currently nominated,
That doesn't ring up there. Absolutely. Okay, something else I'm just gonna throw out there that I think I threw out last year, especially with the influx of senators, my reps, love you to death. And this isn't to dissuade you from running for things you wanna run for them. But just keep in mind that representatives don't have committee requirements like senators do. And we do have a lot of new faces, eager to take on new things, so that's all.
great, thank you. So we will start with the faculty senate student representative. Currently nominated is Senator Merchant and Representative Guzman. Senator.
I nominate Senator Webble.
Second. Yeah, so just since we have so many new people, if you previously held this position, we're gonna start with, before we go into the second round of nominations, if somebody wants to explain what that position is, and you can cite that they have like meeting times or basic procedure, just like a quick 30-second pitch, we'll start with that. So, faculty senate student representative, would somebody like to explain that position? Senator.
Okay, so similar to how undergraduates have a student senate, faculty have their own faculty senate that meets and talks about issues relating to faculty. And as the faculty senate student representative, we attend our meetings, which are like bi-weekly, I think, something like that. But you attend their meetings and you basically go out what they talk about that relates to undergraduate students on campus. And if you really want to get involved with it, you can also possibly join different like subcommittees of them. But anyway, either way, it's a really fun position to get to know faculty on campus and just walk them up.
Thank you. Representative Guzman.
Yeah, joining in to the conversation, I was basically, what is it called? I filled in for Kate Kemper when she did this last semester. And so essentially it's a good way to connect with your faculty. You know, as a student, just be able to create that relationship, but also know what's happening on the faculty end and be able to report that to Senate. So keep that connection between faculty and students persistent.
Great. Currently nominated is Senator Merchant and Representative Guzman. Are there any nominations? Senator Ricker.
I nominate Senator Webble.
Second.
I accept.
Thank you. Do we have some directions now?
Yes. What did you know?
Senator Edwards.
I'm so sorry, but I didn't get the time. What was the time that faculty senate meets again?
This is what I was just doing. I think from what I'm seeing, it's on Fridays from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. But it doesn't look like they've actually been updated. I don't know if you would have any idea. No. Okay. But so I'm gonna go with that. That's what it says on the website, but I don't know if they've updated it for this year. So we'll roll with it.
Great. Any other nominations? Representative Guzman.
I nominate Senator McLean.
Great. Any other nominations? Senator Ricker.
Senator Sparks.
I accept.
Senator Sparks accepts. Any other nominations? Representative Guzman.
I nominate Senator DeLorme. Or is that how you pronounce the last name? How you pronounce your last name, Ezekiel? DeLorme. Second.
If you accept your nomination. If you don't say, I respectfully. Any other nominations? Senator Markon.
I nominate Senator Cowan.
I accept it. Any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll start at the top of the list. I'll give you, we'll say about a minute, give or take, to express your virtue, explain why you should have this position, what your plans were for it. We'll start with Senator Demerchant. Feel free to speak.
No, you're fine. Just trying to confirm your schedule slightly. Make sure everything's all set in. So sorry, I actually think I have to just withdraw from my nomination. It's just a kind of conflict. So sorry, I was just trying to make sure everything is all set.
Next, we have Representative Guzman.
I rescind my nomination.
Okay. Next we have Senator Weber.
I think I would be good for the position. I think overall, I feel like I'm enthusiastic about working and just having not figuratively getting my head dirty, just throughout the work and being a good representative and liaison between students and undergraduate faculty throughout hopefully all years that I have.
Thank you. Senator McLean.
After hearing the thorough description of the position of the faculty senate student representative, I feel it's something that I could serve pretty well as with my experience in high school student council.
Thank you. Senator Sparks.
I think it's a pretty interesting position. I'd be very into participating in these meetings that faculty have. And being go between them. Good for me.
Thank you. Senator DeLorme.
I would like to rescind my nomination, please.
And Senator Cowan.
Cowan, I will also have to resend mine. I have a scheduling conflict.
Alright, so the current nominees are Senator Weber, Senator McLean, and Senator Sparks. If you are a senator or representative, you're going to get a little piece of paper. That's not vote. Even for ex officio positions. Okay, if you are a senator, if you're a senator, please raise your hand until you get a mini ballot. Put down the single name that you would like to elect for this position, and then after you've written it down, raise it.
People running for this position also vote.
All senators raise your hand.
And you can vote for yourself.
Oh, yes.
That's what I was thinking.
I'll open the numbers down.
Please write down. Order, please, thank you.
Please write down either Senator Weber, Senator McLean, or Senator Sparks for the position of faculty senate liaison.
Voted without your ballots. Voted out. After ballots have been collected, President Tripp will be counting the votes, and then he'll just tap on my shoulder and I'll announce the prevailing nominee. That being said, we will move on to the student legal representatives currently nominated. Are Senator Rita Seward, Senator Jolin, and Senator Thompson. Does anybody want to explain what the student legal representatives? Senator.
Legal representative, your job is to meet with Sean O'Mara, you've all met with him, you're a senator now. For your confidentiality discussion and all that, and so you just do that on a regular basis, either weekly or bi-weekly, depending on what works with your schedule. You would get his reports whenever he gets to write them up of who he's talked with and what he spent his hours on. And you'll also just discuss anything that he feels is important for the Senate to know, and you're the liaison to bring that up to the Senate.
Thank you. As I said, the current nominees are Senator Rita Seward, Senator Jolin, and Senator Thompson. Are there any other nominees? Senator Brick.
I nominate Senator Duvall.
I respectfully. Is there a second? Any other nominees? Representative Lovett.
I would like to nominate Senator Sparks. Yes.
Any other nominees? Senator Bone.
Nominate Senator Grady. Second.
I respectfully deny. Any other nominees? Senator Brick.
I nominate Senator Johnson. Second.
I accept.
Senator Marcone.
I nominate Senator Cowens.
Second. I accept. Any other nominees? Seeing none, new ballots will be passed out. Raise your hand. The ballot will be put in your hand. Put it down. Write your name down. Put the ballot back in the Oh, yeah, we can give lots of suggestions. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're gonna start with Senator Rita Seward.
I think I'd be great for this position. A, not only does it work with my schedule, but I also have significant knowledge on legal issues, and I feel like I have the drive to do this position, fulfill my duties. All I have.
All right, next we have Senator Joe.
I didn't hear exactly when the meetings are. I just hear my weekly.
So being that it's a liaison position, it's kind of your responsibility to get in touch with her company to schedule meetings.
Okay, I think I would be great in this position. I'm very interested. I think I could be very dependable. And if I'm selected, I'm very excited to get into contact with Sean O'Mara. I met him last year doing the confidentiality whole briefing. But I think it's a great resource that there's legal counseling on this campus, and I want to make sure that students and that they're all also aware of it and know that they can take advantage of it.
Thank you, Senator Thompson.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a legal studies minor. I'm the social media chair for the Pre-Law Society, so I have experience interfacing and communicating with lawyers already. I think the services that Attorney O'Mara provides, especially for commuter students in regards to property and renter rights, are really important. And I'd like to help convey these efforts to student government as well as help them kind of flesh out the details for these events you plan.
Thank you. Senator Johnson.
I think that I would be very good at this because I have lots of experience working in the legal field. I've worked in 5 different areas of the law during my undergraduate years, and I'm very comfortable communicating with lawyers and meeting them where they're at and their busy schedules. I'm also the vice president of the Pre-Law Society, and I think that I would be very welcoming and opening to anything that you would need brought to Sean O'Mara, and he seems very also welcoming of ideas. So.
Thank you. And Senator Dow.
I think that I would be great for this position because I'm very passionate, as I think all of us are, about providing resources and advocating for students' needs. And a big knowledge gap we have on this campus is within legal issues. A lot of students end up signing renters agreements or housing contracts that they don't quite understand. And this is an aspect that I think that we could work on. And from meeting with Sean, I feel like it could help a lot of students.
Thank you. That being said, our new faculty senate student representative is Senator Sparks.
Now, please write down Senator Rainer Stewart, Senator Jolin, Senator Thompson, Senator Johnson, or Senator Cowan for legal representative. Please slow down.
Raise your hand.
Yep, if you're a senator, raise your hand, please.
It's back to you. Oh, wait, did you do that? Okay, those will be your two. Yeah.
Keep the next turn.
Yeah, right.
You can vote in, put your ballot in the air, and we'll come around and collect it. And while those are being counted, we'll move on to the representative to the Graduate Student Senate. Would anybody like to briefly explain what that is?
I can. Unless there's, is there one in here? No, great. Similar to the faculty senate, the graduate students have their own student government. I actually have been working a little bit or kind of bumping shoulders with Laura, who is their president this year. And they have some good stuff going on. But they essentially need, same situation, a rep from us to kind of touch base with them. I wish I could remember the meeting time. Usually Harrison, who's the GSG rep to us, basically this position, but on GSG side. Yeah, do you know?
Wasn't it said last week it was like Friday at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, and it's probably in the minutes, so I go through the minutes right
now.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so you'll be essentially doing the exact same thing, meeting with them, liaising between the two organizations, making sure that you're available for questions if they have anything for you. Hopefully you can make their meetings, et cetera, et cetera. So same gist, and this is another position that reps and senators can hold.
Great.
Information.
Yes.
Friday at 3 p.m. every week in Stoddard Big Room in front of the courtyard or on Zoom.
Thank you. Currently nominated is Senator DeMerchant and Senator Ricker. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we will start with Senator DeMerchant.
Stand up so you can see me. Hi, I'm Dylan the Merchant. You already know me. I have been participating in government last semester, so I'm familiar with the processes, just with government in general. I've now joined this body as a senator because on the platform of wanting to build bridges and getting connected with people, and given the fact that I've known a ton of graduates from like now going to be 4 years on this university, I thought why not? It would really be good to touch base with them, see what they're up to, what engagement events that they're doing, see if there is any sort of whatever a collaboration, exchange of ideas, what have you. I'm very dependable. I especially if anyone has questions or wants to get directed to graduate students for whatever reason in terms of just process or just exchange of information, I'm always on my emails. And I I'm very passionate about anything that I'm throwing up against, so if you elect me to this position, I will give it my 110%. Double blood, so it's not gonna happen.
Thank you, Senator Ricker.
Hello everyone, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Kyle Pickle, I'm a political science and education major, this is my fourth year in student government, and I just want to say, it's lovely to see so many people in student government. And when I was a freshman, there was not nearly as many people, and even as a sophomore, it was like me, Keegan, and Mr. Senegals, which wasn't very many, so it was great to see us such a full table. But with that said, you mentioned had a really good speech, so I like listening to the conversation.
That being said, okay, well, congratulations to Senator number 20. For student legal representative, we have a tie between Senators Cowan and Johnson. So we're gonna pass around ballots again. In the meantime, would either of the two like to give another very quick thought? Senators, please put your hands in the air, pass it out.
You wanna say something? No, that was, he wants to do that. Do you wanna do the pitch?
Oh, I'm supposed to,
Go
okay,
for it, yeah.
okay, wait, I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say that I am also in the process of applying to law school, so I'm so passionate about becoming a lawyer. And I'm currently working at Pine Tree Legal Assistance in their family and victim rights unit. And last semester I worked at the DG's Office of Child Protection, so I'm very familiar with different legal issues. So anything you bring to me, it definitely won't be as bad as anything I've ever seen. And so I'm very comfortable advocating for whatever it is that you need.
Great, Senator Johnson, would you like to?
That was Senator Johnson.
I'm so sorry, Senator Cowan.
I don't have nearly as much legal experience as Senator Johnson, but what I do have is a lot of community building skills. I have a lot of ties to various clubs and organizations on this campus, and I know how to push out messages. I know how to push out resources. I know how to get that information out to students, and I think it can be a really great asset to letting students know not only is the service available, but when they should use it and when they should visit it.
Thank you. Just a reminder, we're voting for the student legal representative. It's between Senators Johnson and Cowan. After you've voted, put your ballot in the air and collect it. All those ballots are being counted. We'll move on to the Orono Town Council, currently nominated is Senator Cowan.
So you want me to say a couple of stuff about it?
Okay, good to know.
So this is a liaison position like the graduate student senate one and the one to the faculty. So you can either go on Zoom or you can go to them in person. They are the second Monday at 6 for Orono. And the third Monday also at 6, or I know might, sometimes they have pressing unfinished business, they will have it on the 4th Monday if that month has a 4th Monday. So you basically go to the meetings or go on Zoom and report about the meetings. You might also have special opportunities. Like last year, I was for Orono, I was on a board to submit a nomination for a new city manager, which we did get a new city manager this year. So I took some time out of my summer to do that. That's it.
Thank you. That being said, currently nominated is Senator Martone. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, last chance. Congratulations, Senator Martone. Great. That being said, round 2 for voting for the legal representative. Congratulations to Senator John. The Old Town City Council liaison position.
Everything that I just said about the Orono one also applies to the Old Town one.
Thank you.
What about the dates?
The same, I mentioned.
Later, exactly.
No, it's so Orono is the second and sometimes 4th Monday at 6 p.m. and Old Town is the 3rd So like they're second, third, maybe fourth.
Thank you. Currently nominated is Senator Martone. Are there any nominations? Going once, going twice. Congratulations to Senator. We will now move on to the representative to the Military and Veteran Student Affairs. Would anybody like to give their 2 cents on this? Senator Schumer.
The Military Veteran Student Affairs Chair is responsible for bridging Senate and NRTC, RTC, and Veteran Launch together. This includes updating the Senate on activities the military offices are hosting and offering yourself for volunteering opportunities when they present themselves. You'll need to familiarize yourself with all leadership at the respective military offices on campus. This position semi-requires the chair to volunteer for town Orono Sexton on the weekend before Memorial Day to help place flags on veteran tombstone in the town cemetery.
Hey, currently nominated is Senator Schomerdine and Representative Levesque. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we will start with Senator Schomerdine for position.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Schomerdine for those who are new. This was my passion project last year as I built this chair into what it is now. Within this position, I've opened up the Veterans Launch to collaboration in the future, spoken with classes of RTC about UMSG, and started efforts to have them feel connected with the greater student body, started a relationship between UMSG Inc. and the town Orono officials, let the military offices on campus know of UMSG Inc. as they'd never been formally reached out to, therefore most of them didn't know we existed. I also became a familiar name for NRTC as I collaborated with their class ambassador and Danielle Belch to start them on the path of getting the NRTC midshipman student group running again soon. My proudest effort was coming up this spring and being able to start the tradition of volunteering for over 700 flag replacements for the veteran graves here in Orono. I've grown up in a proud military family as my father served for over 15 years and 2 tours in the War, and was medically discharged after earning a Purple Heart and for his sacrifices as an E5 sergeant. I've been raised in the atmosphere of giving back to my community as my parents started the Orange Veterans Project in my hometown. But for the past 14 years, I've participated in veteran flag replacement ceremonies, naval law section ceremonies, cleaning of cemeteries and upkeeping of memorial monuments, volunteering for veteran community suppers, and being a part of the color guard for Memorial Day parades. Voting for me means I can continue the great work I've accomplished thus far in only 1 semester. If reelected, I'll be able to continue the relationship I have with Mike Smart for the Orono Town Sexton. And I hope to expand the volunteering opportunities to more students and open up the potential of collaborating in both towns for the same project as they have abutting cemeteries. I plan to strengthen my connection with NRTC and ROTC students to see how I can better advocate for their needs on campus and start volunteering sooner to aid our military offices during the school year when their events are most abundant. This position requires someone who's familiarized with the sensitivity and nuance to what so much service truly entails, and that person is me. Thank you.
Representative
Actually, we'll stand by us.
That being said, congratulations.
No way I would keep that.
We will now move on to the University of Maine Security Representative. This is a position that I have held in the past. What this means is there's a security committee here on campus that's made up of a lot of high graphs where they discuss the security. They meet every couple of months over Zoom for like an hour or so, where they just discuss their very, very tiny budget and how they stretch that out over the school year. Student input is more than welcome. You end up talking about like Chief Flag, whoever is now in charge of the security committee. I haven't spoken to him yet, but it's a great place for you to express student concerns to some pretty powerful people. Currently nominated is Senator Schomerdine and Senator Jolin. Are there any other nominations? Senator.
I would go with Senator Rising.
I respectfully decline. Any other nominations? Representative Black.
Would like to nominate Senator McLean.
I
Second, leading one.
Senator Martin.
I don't think Senator Powell.
Excellent. Senator Ruchin.
I'd like to nominate Senator Selo.
Just pronounce Z-Log.
Zlog, sorry, Senator Zlog.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations? Great, that being said, we start with Senator Calvert, if you'd like to platform speech.
As a woman on this campus who also finds herself walking back from the library at midnight, security is a very omnipresent theme in my life. This position necessitates someone who's capable of executing a certain level of consistency, maturity, and care, in all of which I possess. I'm also part of Space Committee, so I'm privy to budgeting and how that works on the campus level.
Senator Jola.
I am also very passionate about the safety of our student body, and again, as a woman on this campus, we all know statistics about college and things that happen. So yes, I think that I would be very passionate about getting in contact with the chief, and I am very interested in fostering a better relationship between security and the student body, because as far as I'm understanding right now, there is no relationship. It's kind of like not very friendly between the two. There's some weird power dynamics. I'd love to talk to the security on this campus about how we should make our student body feel more welcomed in certain aspects.
Senator Allen.
I am honestly kind of afraid of a lot of authority figures, but I think that a lot of students on this campus are. We interact with UMPD every single day. They're always in our spaces, be that dormitories, unions, law, what have you, but there's a lot of fear surrounding them. And I don't think, just increasing security's presence could negate that fear. What really should be happening is building a community between our authority figures, our police officers, and our students, making students genuinely feel safe being protected by these people. And I would really like to have a seat at the table to help make that happen.
Thank you. Do senators have ballots already? No? Okay, please pass out, raise your hands, pass out ballots. After you get a ballot, put down either Senator Shelmerdine, Senator Jola, or Senator Cowan, and then put your ballot back up here and we'll.
Here's what she
That's awesome. Everybody in their ballots. While those are being counted, we will move on to the undergraduate research liaison. Also, just a point of information, for various positions, you can nominate yourself. Just a reminder, it does still have to be seconded by a senator, and then you still have to accept that nomination, but just so you know. Anybody want to explain this position?
That would be me. So the position of undergraduate research liaison is a position where you talk with senators or undergraduate research, also known as Cougar. You just relay any information that they say at their meetings that may pertain to the general undergraduate student body. A lot of it is relating to grants that they offer, fellowships, and the symposium that would be next semester. And likewise, any information that they would like to have from us about events that we're doing, or any volunteer that they can have events that they're hosting, if they like to know. So you're just kind of a go-between us and visitors.
Thank you. Currently nominated is Senator Bone. Are there any other nominations? Do you accept?
Yes.
Great. Senator Jones is accepted. Any other nominations? Representative Black?
Senator Weber.
Okay, seconds. Any other nominations? All right, seeing none, please pass around, well, let's wait for this. Please pass around ballot. Okay. Let's start with Senator.
So I held this position last year and the year before that, so I kind of have experience in it, working with the Center for Undergraduate Research and Design Top. They're just getting to know you, they kind of get set their schedule early, it's very hard to change. I learned that the hard way my freshman year, but I've already kind of made it for report with them. They work with me in the past, you know, kind of what my schedule looks like and all that. I also spent the last semester working with Center for Undergraduate Research, as well as Student Senate last semester, to get like funding to go for the undergraduate students that were present there. We were able to fund for food and drinks for the undergraduate students. From general responses while we were there, they were all well appreciated. It was also a chance for us to just table there, have a general presence that undergraduates can see that where funding comes forward, so we're also funding the academic side of things as well. And so I'd like to be able to continue the work that I've done with them in the past. Thank you.
Senator Joe.
Given I did not know Senator Bone's experience, I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Senator Weber.
I do appreciate the nomination for both of us. I would also like to rescind my nomination.
For the undergraduate research liaison. Now back to the security representative. Congratulations to Senator Schoen. We will now move on to the chair of the membership committee. Would anybody like to explain the membership committee?
I was looking at the membership, chair of the membership committee handles refreshments, quote unquote, for Senate, as well as works with the VPSL to handle the Senate retreat. Yeah.
Thank you. Currently nominated are Senator Buzzell, Senator DeMerchant, and Senator Fang. Are there any other nominations? Senator Buzzell.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Right. Currently nominated are Senator DeMerchant and Senator Fang. Are there any nominations? Senator Ball.
Nominate Senator Moore.
I accept.
Senator Fang.
I'd like to nominate Senator Zila.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Senator Ricker.
Nominate Senator Howard.
Do I hear a second?
I respectfully decline.
Are there any other nominations? Senator Murphy.
Nominate Senator Allen for the legs.
Second.
I accept.
All right, are there any other nominations? Senator Dingerton.
I just want to say I would like to rescind my nomination.
All right. Vice President Woolfield.
I would like to nominate Senator Lemetry.
Second. Senator.
Respectfully decline.
Are there any other nominations? FEPC chairs.
I'd like to nominate Senator Jolin.
Second.
Respectfully decline.
Are there any other nominations? All right, that being said, we will start the platform speeches with Senator Fang.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Nate Fang. If you saw me sigh when I was nominated last meeting, you were gonna disregard that. I'd like to dedicate this speech to I'd like to dedicate the speech to the VP Rocky, who unfortunately isn't here, but he keeps me going and believes me when I don't believe myself. I held this position last year for 2 semesters. And I'd like to rescind my nomination, actually.
All right, moving on to Senator DeLorme.
Hello, my name is Ezekiel DeLorme. I'm a freshman here, but the reason I'm here is to make change, and I really don't wanna like throw myself into some big commitment and then just kind of suck at it. I wanna start small, and kind of plant myself under, like, navigate my academic life and my extracurricular life, and then figure out where I'm going from there. So having this position would allow me to do that, and I'd like to have your vote. Thank you very much.
Your ballot.
Well, I'm myself and also a first year student. I'm very new, so and I'm also from Massachusetts. I don't really know a lot of people here, but given the opportunity, I'm just gracious. I'm feeling that I'm in a very viable position in terms of innovating and creating respect, integrity, and citizenship. And I also feel like it's my chance to make a difference right here. So
Thank you. That's open nominees. Please raise your hand. You will receive a ballot. Senators only raise your hand. And then we'll go around, you put those ballots back up in the air after you put the name and give it the line.
Senator DeLorme or Senator Gallant? Ballot. Right.
It's Irish.
Are you doing stuff, man?
Similar to their names.
This is a hand raise.
It's a question, yeah.
Senator Harvey.
So can I ask the two nominees a question?
What information does this position require you to have? Senator Martin has the floor, please. Does this position require you to have a car?
No.
Okay.
I did it without a car. It's much easier with the car. I like texted Bo every day, every Tuesday at like 3 begging if he could drive me, but I did it without a car. Thank you, Senator Michelle, by the way.
Senator Demers.
Point of information, if whoever gets into the position, I'm willing to offer my services, be a taxi. Gas money not required. I've had so many people who drive me around, I'm not looking back, so if that is something you're worried about at all, do not think that. That's it.
Okay, while those are being counted, we will move on to policy and procedures. Currently, well, I can speak on policy and procedure. So this is essentially the parliamentarian of student government. This is the committee that has you chair. This is where all of the legislation is passed through, like resolutions that pertain to just the general structure of student government. This is probably the busiest of the committees, as people like to amend things, they like to add stuff in, they like to modernize. This is the committee where that goes. Currently nominated are Senator Waters and Senator Ricker. Are there any nominees? Senator Waters, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You have the floor for your platform on policy and procedure.
Cool. Okay. I wish I could see all the new senators' faces in person, but I have COVID, so I'm online. I'm Senator Waters. I'm a senior, and I think I would make a great Polypro chair. As far as qualifications, I served on Polypro as the committee all of last year as a voting senator. I attended almost every meeting. And I've also worked in other nonprofits similar to student government with bylaws that pass resolutions. I'm a voting member of the Democratic State Committee of Maine. And I know the policies of this organization really well. And I even got to demonstrate that last year at a meeting when I mentioned an aspect of the policy that wasn't being followed. We took a vote on a resolution. It passed with simple majority, and I got to say, hey, we need 2/3, and we needed 2/3 of the Senate to vote on that. So I know the policies here pretty well. My initiatives for Poly Pro Chair, I think VP Peterson did a great job last year. There's only a few things that I would try and kind of adjust. I want to promote a super high level of transparency. Oftentimes when we pass stuff in Polypro, senators come in the next week and they're very confused about it and they have questions and it takes up time during our meetings. I would love to make sure that every resolution passed in Polypro gets seen in the Senate chat as long as it's not an executive session resolution. So that's we have the time to familiarize ourselves. And I would also like seeing all these new senators in the room. I'm not promising this, but I think that we should look at maybe raising the amount of senators that vote in Polypro committee, just to represent the influx of new voices that we have here.
Thank you. Senator Ricker.
Yeah, in case a lot of you forgot who I was, my name is Kyle Bickle. I'm a political science education major, both of you. And what I think I have that is unique to this position is I have a lot of student government experience. I think, possibly with the exception of Peterson, I might be the host sample in the boat now. And through the lifetime of student government, I have served in a variety of committees, everything from executive budget committee, student organization committee. I've been on Polycom myself, like Keegan was the chairman for a bit. I've been around student government, and I understand how student government functions. Outside of student government itself, I'm also involved with other organizations and commitments that require intense look at policy, such as the Model UN. And this semester, I'm being hopefully being an ESG analyst, or so maybe just different policy related things outside of student government itself that I think will reflect about being able to have. I think it's just yeah, they connect. But as for my personal initiatives towards this position, I know already that membership share is not quite correctly in like what the position is because it's changed as SOC we had to if initiatives come in. And lastly, I just really want to kind of want to work with Vice President Peterson on Senate elections, because I know that is a very assuming a Polypro can't jump on this immediately, it's gonna be chaos when January comes and the entire Senate's up for election. It's just there's gonna be confusion. So I think that it would be great to just go in head first and just be as quick as possible in this positions. Thank you for your time. Sorry.
Thank you. Before we move on to voting for policy and procedure, the new membership chair is Senator DeLoy. Raise your hands, select ballots, write down either Senator Waters or Senator Ricker for the policy and procedure chair, and put that ballot back up in the air and we'll collect it. Those ballots up high. Senator Ricker.
Am I allowed to vote myself?
I'll see if that actually happens.
Alright, everybody get the ballots elected? Okay. While we count the ballots for policy and procedure, we will move on to political activism. Would anybody like to explain? Senator Buzzell?
So the duty of the political activism committee is to facilitate political dialogue on campus, collect a weekly email from each of the chairs of the party organizations, which are currently the College Democrats, the College Republicans, Young Americans for Liberty. I believe those are the three right now, but doing so in a nonpartisan way. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
Thank you. I will say, just adding on to that, political activism is a very important chair because Student Government Incorporated is a nonprofit, which means it is a non-political entity, not bipartisan, not cooperative, not middle of the aisle, non-partisan, unpolitical. I only stress that because any kind of misconception that people might have of us like endorsing candidates or raising up one voice over the other could destroy student government legally. So that's the only reason I stress them. That being said, the current nominees are Senator Buzzell, Senator Reeder Siewert, and Senator DeMerchant. Are there any other nominees? Senator Finn?
I'd like to nominate Senator Cohen.
Second.
Senator Sparks.
I would like to nominate myself.
Senator Joel.
I would like to nominate myself.
Second.
Myself.
Senator Burton.
I would like to nominate Senator Harvey. I respectfully decline.
Senator Bowman.
I'd like to nominate Senator Kern. Second.
Can you explain again?
So you're pretty much, as the chair of this committee, you get in touch with political organizations here on campus and pretty much give them any support or advice that you can on a non-political, nonpartisan level. So just facilitating dialogues, Senator Buzzell, is there anything else you want to add?
No, it's mostly speaking to the different clubs on campus and ensuring that they have everything they need to perform their operations.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
No, single level. Second.
I'm sorry, and you accepted the kind.
I'll accept.
Okay, very sorry. And what was that?
I was saying. Okay.
Senator Luchan?
I like to say my nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Senator Peter Seaver?
I would also like to rescind my nomination.
President Tripp, or the current nominees?
Current nominees, Senator Buzzell, Senator Sparks, Senator Jolin, and Senator Kearns. Am I missing anybody? Cool.
I also got nominated, Senator Cowan.
Okay, perfect. And Senator Cowan.
Are there any other nominations? Representative Guzman?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Senator Ballet. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
I appreciate that.
Okay, before we move on to voting for the political activism chair, the new policy and procedure chair is Senator Warner. Senators, put your hands in the air, collect ballots. We just. Okay. We will start with Senator Buzzell.
All right, my name is Eddie Buzzell. I previously served in this role for the past 2 semesters, past 2 iterations of Student Senate. I am currently president of Maine College Democrats. I'm treasurer of Maine College Democrats. I'm currently an electoral fellow with a group called Maine Youth Power, the purpose of which is to make sure that rural Maine voters, young voters have a voice and are able to speak on the issues that are important to them. I'm out there every weekend canvassing. I'm out there every weekend knocking doors and ensuring that young people in Orono and the surrounding area can get their voice heard. Beyond that, as I said before, I previously served in this position. I have the contacts needed to have a new reform in this position. I contact Republicans, Young Americans for Liberty every week, and I think they would tell you as well that despite my obvious partisan leanings, I can have a nonpartisan hand when dealing with them. I've done nonpartisan vote drives before, transfer student, and before I came to UMaine, I was at Southern Maine Community College, in which I was president of the Student Senate, where I had to lift every voice equally and not disparage any one person just because of their political affiliation or beliefs. So I believe that I'm a good control because while I am highly motivated politically and I'm politically active, I can still deal fairly with people of every orientation.
Senator Sparks?
I think that I would be good fit for this position. I am currently not affiliated to any political party openly, and I would like to keep it that way. I love hearing the opinions of everybody, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. I think that everyone can bring a good point to the argument, and everyone can bring a bad point to an argument, but making sure that good and bad points are heard is very important. I also think that I'm a very vocal person, and so if someone gets a little too excited and aggressive, I will be able to shut that down pretty quickly as well.
Senator Jolin?
Hi. I believe I'm very capable of maintaining a very nonpartisan position and to be completely objective. pay attention to that rather than my own opinions. I'm very aware of the importance that political activism has, especially on our campus. I would also like to I would also like to encourage involvement in smaller local elections and make more of our student body aware of when those are happening, how to gain knowledge about nominees and whatnot. And I have also had to be indifferent in my own experience from my own political affiliation in many contexts. So I just think I'm very capable of this position.
Senator Kearns.
Hi everybody, my name's Kayla Kearns. I'm a freshman, so I don't have a lot of experience in student government, but I was in student government throughout high school. I remained pretty like nonpartisan and I wasn't biased towards either side. I'm a nursing student, I have a lot of connections, so I think I would be able to kind of get people involved in politics, which is good, you know, like they wouldn't have any sides. But I also think that would be a good connection between other town organizations.
And Senator Crown.
Hi guys, hi again. I am very vocal about my political opinions and my political leanings, but I also can value that everybody, despite their opinions, if they're dissenting mine, they deserve an equal seat at the table. And I would work towards making sure that everybody, no matter their political affiliation, feels equally represented and included in this campus community.
Thank you. That being said, we will now pass around the ballots for the political activism chair. Once again, put down the name of who you think should chair this committee.
Those options are Senator Buzzell, Senator Sparks, Senator Jolin, Senator Kearns, or Senator Cowan. Just as a reminder. Yeah. Yeah, you can get covered.
Those ballots are being counted. We will move on to the services standing committee. Would you like to explain?
So services have.
Oh, one more ballot back there.
I got it.
Okay, services has to do with auxiliary services on campus. Huge umbrella university calls, it's include things like parking, bank card, like the janitors and hall maintenance. Definitely something that's creating a huge umbrella. So essentially with not really huge, like very vague, you kind of do what you want with it, but what's been done in the past is at a baseline, you meet with auxiliary services a couple times throughout the semester. You know, bring up consuming concerns, ask them what's going on and relate it to the Senate. And but like I said, when you realize how broad auxiliary services on campus, there's a lot of ways you can advocate.
Thank you. Currently nominated is Senator Michaud. Are there any other nominations? Senator DeVergen?
I would like to nominate myself for the services committee. Exactly.
Okay. Any other nominations? Senator Paul?
Nominate Senator Klein.
Any other nominations? Okay. Vice President.
I'd like to nominate Senator Lamadrid.
And respect for the time.
Are there any other nominations? Are those the results? Yep. So let's start with Senator Michaud for 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Bo Michaud. I'm here today to convince you why I should be chosen for the service chair position. It will detail my plans and views on this position. Last year I held this position and I've learned much about it. At its core, this position is about advocating for students, but also more importantly, serving as a communication link between auxiliary services and students. Therefore, I will meet with the entirety of the auxiliary service department twice this semester. This is where I will bring up general concerns, but also serve as a listener to their upcoming projects and thoughts. For my own personal initiatives, I will continue to advertise and monitor the success of the bus coupon program that I and Senator Waters created last semester. hopefully we can make it a permanent fixture of student gov. And this position would make it much easier to continue to work on that. An initiative I want to work on if I'm elected for this position is advocating for better walkability and biking infrastructure on campus. If you walked around campus at rush hour, you know it can be dangerous across the street. On numerous occasions while biking and walking on campus, I've observed and been part of some close calls. Last year, someone was hit and injured by a vehicle. I want to speak to auxiliary services on how we can improve infrastructure to be safer, more pleasant, and more convenient to walk and bike on campus. I also hope to bring up housing at one point in my talks about auxiliary services. I would like to know what is being done to better prepare the university for next year, as we had some issues this year. I would also like to echo some thoughts I've heard from students about housing, some positive and some negative. As an RA, I do hear a lot about housing, so it makes me a great point for concerns. But yeah, this is what I hope to do if I'm elected. Please vote for me. Thank you.
Senator Dimmerly.
I did my little introductory spiel, so I'll just jump right into it. I really wanted to get into services because living on campus for 4 years and either have excuse me, I don't know, excuse me, like the trend that's going on, getting here. Excuse me, sorry for that. I would like to be part of the the services chair committee, because being on campus for 4 years and having to be from different dorms, Hart, Knox, now being all the way up in Patch. I also have once taken it the direct of housing. I want to explore the push-pull factors of what are keeping people on campus and what are people finding elsewhere off campus. This is also a committee that I also would like to do like into collaboration with food and dining as an example, just so that just to explore what is the current trend of what's being offered and how could we possibly improve that standard. Thank you.
All right, before we begin voting for the services chair, the political activism chair will be Senator Buzzell. If you don't have a ballot, we are voting for the services chair. Your nominees are Senator Michaud and Senator Dimmer. Let's see this. While those are being counted, we will move on to academic affairs, which is a standing committee. I don't know when it's a special committee. Senator Waters, would you like to give the rundown?
Yeah, academic affairs is weird because it's kind of a mixture and it was created this way on purpose of a liaison position and a committee. So you yourself are a liaison to the provost's office, which is like the head of academics here. And you have a monthly or sometimes even more often discussion on tutoring on campus, the academic catalog, course offerings, graduation requirements, academic probation, grading procedures, but you also have a committee, and the committee is cool for inside student gov initiatives on academic affairs. So if student gov wanted to have their own academic affairs initiatives, they would be through this committee. And the committee is also good for, since the committee is not just a student gov committee, it's open to the public. People can come and ask questions, get help on their issues, and then also give me as the liaison concerns to bring to the provost's office. And I'm rescinding my nomination.
That being said, the current nominees are Senator DeMerchant and Senator Thompson. Are there any other nominees? Senator Burns.
Second.
I accept.
Any other nominees? Senator Now.
I nominate Senator Kearns.
I accept.
Deputy PC Chair.
I nominate Senator Jolin.
Second.
Accept.
Senator Weber.
I have a question. So is this the liaison position that the committee, or is it just?
So it serves kind of two positions, very similar to services, in fact. The chair can serve as a liaison between different departments on campus. The academic affairs chair can serve as a liaison between the provost or the campus. Kind of at the discretion of the chair. Any other nominees? All right, currently nominated are Senator DeMerchant, Senator Cowan, Senator Kearns, Senator Jolin, and Senator Thompson. Let's start with Senator.
Alright, so, sorry about that earlier, I don't know what came over me, but anyways, so for academic affairs, I was part of this committee last semester, just dipping my toes into the water, just for a couple of issues that I had been familiar with my friends. So I got involved with that and I really loved it. Going into this committee as chair, I have a bunch of ideas, some of which include like the inclusion of some programs that are not really traditional four-year degrees, because I feel that given the fact that like the university has so many of these programs, I feel a sort of diversifying of different fields that wouldn't be considered just sort of the part of like four-year program would be included, just because given the fact that we're all college students, we become very well-rounded individuals. I feel that such programs could very much be welcomed or even included for that. For other things, at least in terms of academic services, I really would want to have this as a stepping stone from other projects that, such as President Keegan have worked on for the Syllabus Bank. I really would like to work with him on that, to like pursue that further with syllabi, because as someone who is going through college classes during the semester, like no, not the semester, the summertime, like the teachers and them being either MIA or the little like email blurb saying, I'm not in my office hours, please get me back to me by like whatever time. That's the thing we'd really like to be looking forward to. I have many different connections within departments and I have friends from all different fields, so it's with this sort of knowledge that I'm hopeful that I can use that and put it towards the committee and really make it to reach new heights. So thank you.
Senator Thompson.
So I've changed my majors across colleges a couple times here. So I've already had a diverse experience of the academics. I have some pretty strong opinions on academic policies. I write for the Maine campus and I've written about both how I think the minor change program is very outdated and also how I really dislike the AMP initiative. I called it a misleading ploy. As chair, I'd love to both meet with the provost to field new ideas and also gauge important student feedback on academic issues that we encounter every day. I want to be able to voice when students really dislike a policy or when we really like them. A couple things I'd like to advance in this position is I'd like to work to make the AMP program one I don't harbor such negative feelings for, and I'd like to refine the paperwork process, which I find archaic, that we have to go through for simple changes. I would also like to pick up the Syllabus Bank project. I was involved in a couple of meetings about that project when it was a student leadership initiative. So it'd be really rewarding for me to see it to the end since I was there at some of the earlier meetings. And I'd love to chair these initiatives as academic affairs committee.
Senator Cowan.
After hearing the previous two speeches, even though I have a lot of ideas for things, I don't think that I can do nearly as much as these fine folks can, so I rescind my nomination.
Thank you. Senator Kearns.
I also rescind my nomination.
Senator Jolin.
So as a fourth year student, I have become very accustomed to the university's grading policies. I have experienced the highs and lows within myself. I have also personally utilized the academic services available on this campus, like the free tutoring, the help sessions, the MLAs. I could go on forever. I have found them to be a great, great help for me, and I love advocating those to everybody else too. Again, they're free resources. Everybody should be taking advantage of them. And I essentially really understand the importance of having those resources on our campus. Essentially, I care deeply about academics and fair access for our entire student body as well.
Hey, so senators, hands in the air. Grab a ballot, put down either Senator DeMerchant, Senator Jolin, or Senator Thompson for the academic affairs to be church.
Thank you.
Score.
Sorry, I'm slow, right?
While those are being counted, we will move on to the undergraduate student symposium committee. Would anybody like to explain what that is?
I can explain what that is again. This is the committee that I started up last semester. We used to try and get more of the student side opinions on the symposium and how we can make better. My freshman year, I participated in it, so I have my own idea, but I want to create a space where more students can share it. So you just kind of post like an office hours kind of time, where it's just 1 hour or however much you want to hold, where students can come and find you and talk about their ideas for what the student symposium should be. Pick up on here any changes that we made in the previous year, or just general ideas they have to get better.
Great. Before we do nominations for this position, the services chair for this semester will be Senator Michaud. Academic affairs is still being counted. So the current nominee for the undergraduate student symposium committee chair is Senator Bone. Are there any other nominations? Senator Weber?
I'd like to nominate myself. Second. Acceptance.
Are there any other nominees or nominations? Senator Waldron?
Second.
All right. Senator DeMerchant?
I'm sorry, I do want to say something, am I allowed to say?
No. Senator Ricker?
Second. I respect the decline.
Any other nominations? Senator Buzzell?
Like to nominate Senator Calvin.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Any other nominations? Correct. Okay, Senator Bone, for your platform.
So like I said, I kind of started this committee last semester just to get the general input of the student body. I worked on initiatives trying to get the word out. I talked to the faculty, I went to the honors lectures, just trying to speak on the whole topic. I felt like I was able to reach out to quite a few students and get good input. Whoever runs this committee would also kind of head up any initiative that would be there at the symposium that happens. So most of what you do will work towards the second semester project. So anybody who takes this position should be available for both. I plan on being available for both like this semester and following one. And even if I don't get this, I'd be happy to work with whoever does get it as the undergraduate research liaison. So.
Senator Weber?
Like what Senator Bo mentioned, he does have more experience in this project. But what I was gonna ask, not ask, just say was that I believe this would be something that he stated would be something that the research liaison would also help with, and I'm willing to work with him on that. And I think having a second person and a second voice in that space would be very helpful and just give more reach and outlook to people who would need it. And so I think instead of maybe monopolizing it as one person overall, I think having a
group or a team who can work together and have ideas to reach out and help people with their symposium and with so for both semesters have that opportunity to do so.
Thank you. That being said, do we have the results for the previews? Yes, we do. The Academic Affairs Chair will be Senator Thompson. Now, senators, please put your hands in the air, collect ballots to vote for the Undergraduate Student Symposium Committee Chair. The nominees are Senator Bowman and Senator Weber. While those are being counted, we'll move on to the Food and Dining Affairs Committee. Anybody want to give their 2 cents on that?
Yeah, this committee acts as, it's a pretty open position, but it primarily acts as a liaison position between the general student body and UMSG and the leaders of Sodexo and the dining halls and the like food part of the services stuff. And you just meet with all those people and you make sure that everyone's as happy as you possibly can.
Currently nominated are Senator Reader Siebert, Senator Nisho, Senator Fang, and Senator Demerch. Are there any other nominations? Senator Cowan.
I nominate Senator Kearns.
Second.
Senator Ritter.
Second. Second.
Senator DeLorme accepts. Senator Dillon.
I nominate myself.
Any other nominations? Senator Kearns.
Second.
I accept. Any other nominations? Senator Demerch.
I would nominate Senator Crotty.
I'm perfectly fine.
Senator Nisho. Alright. Senator Martin.
I'd like to nominate Senator Barlett.
Any other nominations? So far, we have Senator DeLorme, Senator Cowan, Senator Jolin, Senator Vilat, Senator Fang, Senator Demerch. Did we miss?
I missed it.
Senator Peterson. Any other nominations? All right, before we do platform speeches for this one, the Student Symposium Committee Chair will be Senator Bowman. Starting at the top, for the Food and Dining Affairs, we'll start with Senator DeLorme for platform.
Other person.
Fair enough. Senator Cowan.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Casper Cowan. Did you know that a lot of students who are paying for meal plans can't actually eat on campus? There are severe allergies, pretty common food allergens like peanuts that our dining hall simply won't accommodate every single day. I have friends that go like a whole day without eating for meals that they're paying for. And they simply cannot go inside because there are things made with their allergens. And there are no real accommodations for it on campus. What I want to do is make a place where we can actively and inclusively eat. Because eating is something that we all have the basic human right to do. And if you're paying for a meal plan, you should be able to eat with that. Thank you.
Senator Jolin.
So I've been at this university for 4 years. I've had a dining plan and I like to think that I live in the Bears Den and pretty much live off of that food as well. And I have a lot of bones to pick. I've seen the highs and lows as they have come. I've seen things be introduced. I've seen things leave. I've known what worked and what didn't. I have some experience as a vegan, as a vegetarian, and as a carnivore like I am now. So also I think that I can provide some insight from a wide array of different students with different dietary needs, and I'd love to advocate for them as well. And again, for students with different dietary restrictions to ensure that everybody has access to meals on this campus.
Senator Villar.
So I'm Blatt, and I feel like I contribute to the group that there's committee is that, so I personally, I actually do have an allergy to the allergy, so I understand the importance of addressing allergy. So I feel that most people don't actually know the severity of having an allergy and don't understand the life threatening implications it can hold. So my goals for the position would be able to step into people's shoes, be their voice, let their aides occur, tap into everyone's personal allergies. Say, hey, now this person has this, how could be accompanied with this? Because future students, future colleges may actually have the same issue. So for not just about the short term saying, hey, this guy's an allergy, it's about the longevity and the inclusiveness that can also provide.
Senator Hank.
Okay, hi guys, I'm gonna, because I wanna make sure I didn't wear a suit for no reason today. My name is Nick Fang, I held this position last year, since its creation, thank you for President Tripp. I don't really wanna talk about myself, so instead I wanna talk about the things that I would like to do differently this year and improve on last year. I want, to be more transparent, you know, if I get to this committee and I'll chair this meeting. I'd like to have an open forum with the heads of Sodexo. So that's the guy that's in charge of Hilltop, the guy that's in charge of the Bears Den, in charge of Wells, in charge of York, and then the one who's in charge of all of them. And I want to have an area, for example, let's say the Bangor room, where people can come in and just ask questions. I want to have more regularly set committee meetings, and have minutes for those that I can release to the general student body as well as Senate, obviously. And I'd like to just have more student outreach in general. I'd like to have a committee that has students outside of UMSG participating as well. Just so that, you know, there are a lot of people who can't join UMSG due to time commitments or other reasons, or some people that just think that the one issue they're really passionate about is the food on this campus. And I'd like to make sure that those people have an opportunity to get to speak. I also want to focus on some small problems that are easy solutions that we can do right now, just because it's always a good feeling when you get a little bit of progress done. Like I had this freshman moment the other day, no offense to any freshmen in here, where I was in the Bears Den and I could not understand how the salad bar worked and which things I was supposed to separate. And that's one of those things that we can solve overnight with an email that I've already sent to the Sodexo heads, just asking them, you know, put up more clearer signs. That's something that we need in all our dining halls. And lastly, I just want to touch on allergen and dietary restrictions. I think all the other candidates have spoken to it very well. As someone who lives on campus with a dietary restriction and a roommate who has a very severe allergen, I think one of just a small step that we can take right now is how unreasonable it is to expect first-year students and people living up in the Hilltop area to have to go to York to find some sort of accommodation. That's something that I had the privilege of not really worrying about last year, but this year I realized just how much of a trek that is and trying to fit that into a lot of our busy college student schedules. I think that's it. I didn't say this last year, but Senator Waters told me to. I almost went to culinary school. It doesn't mean anything for this position, but I think it's cool. Thank you.
Senator Merchant.
So, just wanted to at least start, like, just pose this rhetorical question. Many of you think that I probably look like I have like a healthy weight, right? I weigh 120 pounds. I have weighed 120 pounds throughout college, you know, in freshman year, right? When I came back from home in my first semester,
I dropped down to 100. That was because food on campus was either unedible or I had been sick to my stomach and I couldn't eat anything. And there were days where I only had one meal. Progressing forward to sophomore year, I lived in Harts. And many of you have probably not been around for that time. Hart was in the middle of the campus where there was either York or Hart. And it was a 20-minute walk from either room, just one road. And that even put my eating habits in more of a severe deficit. And I had dropped down again to like 110. The reason why I want to get into food and dining committee, at least more than anything else, is that food is something on campus that, you know, shouldn't be like a sort of debates or something that should be wishy-washy in a sense. It's $3,000 roughabouts per meal, you know, for the meal plan per semester. And as someone who has, you know, gone from eating meats and every single type of thing under the sun in a senior year of high school to having to decide, do I want to take the chance on eating any meats? Or do I really want to take 20 minutes to walk over to York during an Arctic blast, for example? Like I had to do that. And it was not fun. So at least more than anything for this committee, I would like to have at least first and foremost accountability. I feel that is something that has not fallen by the wayside, but hasn't exactly been centered. Especially now, given the fact that I have the privilege of being awesome planner. I literally have currently. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to sit back and let other people who are living in Hearts, who have lived in York, having to deal with those problems that I have dealt with. I feel like that isn't fair. I have friends who have had dietary restrictions, religious or allergens that have had to walk to Timbuktu just to get something to eat. And I feel like that's something that needs to be addressed. I also feel that just choices on campus needs to be opened up more. So these are just a few examples as someone who used to be a not so picky eater to being a very picky eater during his first 2 years of school, which should not have been. So that was the case. Thank you.
Senator Peterson.
Well, I'd like to rescind my my nomination, that's all right.
Alright, the current nominees are Senator Cohen, Senator Cowan, Senator Cowan, Senator Jolin, Senator Willett. Okay. Senator Fang and Senator Demerchant. Senator, let's put your hands up. You haven't gotten the bot yet?
Point of privilege, Senator Kearns was also nominated for that and wasn't given a chance to speak.
I'm terribly sorry. Okay, everybody were press pause, Senator Kearns. Restart.
Okay, I don't want to disturb anything, but I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm Senator Gail Kurtz, sorry. So as a nursing student, in the healthcare field, I know how much food interferes with health. So I've known students who, even though like I'm a freshman, I know students right now who resort to eating unhealthy foods, which can over like your 4 years impact your health in a bad way. Like ramen has a lot of sodium in it. That's probably a lot, you know, as well as I'm an athlete, so I know how much having healthy meals you can rely on can also impact your health and your performance, as many students are. And I would also love to advocate for like different allergies. That's how I'm talking about. I have a lot of friends who have like gluten allergies, dairy allergies, which I've seen have very limited selections. And possibly like financial interest for both students and of course the university. As I know students who have also had to like decide on paying tuition or like paying dorm fees over like meal plans, and they're, you know, not really getting the proper nutrition they need. So, thank you.
Thank you. We are going to completely void any of the ballots that have already been written, if anybody has. If you need a new ballot, I'm not sure if we got that far, please raise your hand. The nominees for the FDA character are Senator Cowan, Senator Jolin, Senator Willett, Senator Fang, Senator DeMerchant, and Senator Kearns. While those ballots are counted, everybody turn theirs in. Okay, we're going to move on to the sergeant at arms. I would like to preface, speeches from now on are going to be limited by 1 minute. If you go over 1 minute, I'm gonna gavel you down to the 1 minute experts.
Okay, nicely, for the sake of time.
Nicely, it's for the sake of time. Alright, who would like to explain the sergeant at arms? Representative Blair.
This position as a whole is primarily about making the Senate look good. And before the meeting starts, you wanna get here early to help bring up the cart, all the stuff, you wanna get the tablecloths on the table, you wanna make sure everything is ready for the meeting to start. During the meeting, if we need a window open or closed, that is part of your job. If someone needs to be politely escorted out, again, infamously for breaking dress code, that's part of your job. After the meeting is over, you're responsible for making sure all of the tablecloths are folded and helping the cart. Everything else get brought back down to the offices, making sure the room is being left clean. A lot of respect to this room and the janitors. And I think this position gets started maybe too less serious than it is, but I think legitimately, especially now that we are being filmed and put on YouTube every time, we want us to look good for the people watching us. Having said all of that, I will be rescinding my nomination. I just have too much happening these days. I can't get here early.
Current nominees are Senator Harvey and Senator Richardson. Are there any other nominations? Senator Bang?
What information does this fulfill a senator's requirements?
It fills one of two requirements. You're required to fill 2 positions, positions count as 2, this would put 1 point. Any other nominations? Senator Weber?
I nominate Senator Blatt.
Any other nominations? Representative Novak?
I would like to nominate Senator McLean.
I graciously accept.
Senator Marcon?
I nominate Senator Powell.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Harvey?
I'd like to nominate Senator Fang. Sorry.
I respectfully decline.
Are there any other nominations for Representative Guzman?
Yeah, I would like to nominate Senator, is it Zila?
I respectfully decline.
Are there any other nominations? All right, 1 minute platform speeches, starting with Senator Vila. I think so.
Just.
Volat.
Yes.
All right, 1 minute plus.
Okay, you know what really grinds my gears? When people leave shopping carts in the middle of the lot. And then when you mentioned something about carts, I sort of like hit close to home, like the funny ones. So janitors right there every day trying to do everything, clean the bathrooms, clean the floors, sweep. It's hard work, hard background, I feel like not this. Severely, as much appreciation as they would do, but I'm not gonna bore you with details going on and on, so I'll keep it short, sweet, and say, janitors deserve more recognition.
Thank you. Senator Harvey.
Oh, hello, everybody. My name is Vassal Harvey, and I just want to welcome all the new senators. And I would also like to rescind my nomination.
Senator McLean, 1 minute.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marcus McLean, and I like to pride myself as someone that really appreciates presentation. And as someone that's been in the performing arts throughout my high school career, I understand what it's like, the hassle it is to put chairs down and pack them up. But I've always been the type of person to try to encourage other people to help out, make things as swift as possible so everybody can get out sooner. So this position would really be something I think I could serve well as. Thank you.
Thank you. Current nominees are Senator Millette and Senator McLean. Please put your hands in the air if your senator needs a ballot. And while we're doing that, the food and dining chair.
Point of information, I was also put on the list.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Senator DeMerchant.
Sorry, I'll be very quick. So as both as the other two candidates have said, at least for me, I believe that student government, at least from my perspective, it's like a sacred institution, at least for me. So I feel that, you know, if we are gonna be acting in a certain way, we should be having like also like impact on this room the same way. Other things, I have nice bow ties and like bow ties and a nice silk tie. If you so ever forget to bring in the formal thing, which is also part of the service arms, I feel like that was mentioned somewhere, so I have that. And aside from that, I could probably do like a nice rendition of closing a window or something, but time constraints, but yeah. I also show up early, I stay late, I just know people and I just talk and also work, so yeah. Thank you.
Alright. So before we do the election for the sergeant at arms, the food and dining chair will be Senator Fang. For sergeant at arms for Senator Willett, Senator McLean, and Senator DeMerchant. Senators, grab a ballot, put down the name, back up near the left here. While votes are counted, we'll move on to President Pro Tempore. What this is, I am the President of the Senate. The President Pro Tempore is essentially the Vice President of the Senate. What that means is if I have to call in sick or yield the chair, whatever senator serves as President Pro Tempore comes up and serves in my absence. That person, I can take the chair back anytime unless the Senate tells me not to. That's pretty much all it is. The current nominees are Senator Bone, Senator Ricker, Senator Buzzle, Senator Jolin, Senator Harvey, and Senator Schultz. Are there any other nominations? Representative Guzman.
I nominate Senator DeLone. I respect you.
Any other nominations? Senator Fang?
Point of information, does President Pro Tempore take over if you're absent, or does President Schripp?
The President Pro Tempore chairs the meeting finance. Senator Schumerman?
I was submitted.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we will start with Senator Bone for 5 minutes. 1 minute.
Hello again, everybody. I've been on the Senate since I think the second week of my freshman year. The only one leading to it was President Keegan Tripp himself. And it's my freshman year. I pride myself in trying to keep my reports quick and meetings fairly short whenever I try and give reports on anything. I try and do the same thing with our President Pro Tempore. And I feel like I'd be a good person to run the meeting instead of Vice President Peterson.
Senator Ricker.
Hello, first of all, apologize to everyone I've been nominated for again this meeting. I just think that the best way to keep such on is to live thumbs up by system. And that's what I've decided to do for my 3 years being Senate now. I've decided countless communities and I've always been one to volunteer for student government, including student government force. Lord knows that talking isn't my greatest strength, but decades speech therapy taught me that. But what I know is that I'm someone who truly cares about this organization, and I'm really passionate about seeing it succeed. Not just in a fiscal or policy sense, but a social sense as well. I'm doing my best to be approachable, trying to get along with everyone in the room, no matter what disagreements we have, and also trying to bring back Senate socials. I'm someone who understands the Robert's rules to the tips of the week. I understand Robert's rules. I've read these in this before. And one of my highlights of the time we go to Maine is being pro tempore this past Senate, and I would truly appreciate to have the chance again to be pro temp again this semester. So thank you so much for your time.
Senator Buzzle.
My good friend Kyle Ricker has been one of the most devoted members of this institution for many years. I rescind my nomination and strongly endorse him.
All right, Senator Jolin.
I rescind my nomination.
All right. Senator Park, one.
I don't really want to rescind my nomination because I wouldn't mind this role, but I am gonna endorse Senator Ricker because he's had it since last year and I want to have it again.
Right, and Senator Schomerdine, 1 minute. So before we do the voting for that, and we read results for Sergeant at Arms will be Senator McLean. The nominees for President Pro Tem 4 are Senator Bone and Senator Ricker. Right. That was a tie. So real. While those are being counted, we'll move on to the Executive Budgetary Committee where there are 4 seats that are being nominated. Want to explain the Executive Budgetary Committee?
Sure, so
Unless you had a.
I was just gonna rescind my nomination. Alright, so UBC will be meeting at 6:30 PM on every Monday. There's always funding requests. And what you'll be able to do if you get nominated onto UBC is you'll be able to receive all of the funding requests and you'll be able to discuss and weigh in your input on them. If you guys would like, you can amend and alter anything that comes before Senate, we'll go kind of get it firsthand. You don't let it use it.
Thank you. Current nominees are Senator Bone, Senator Waters, Senator Buzzell, Senator Jolin, Senator Thompson, Senator Harvey, Senator DeMerchant, and Senator Ricker. Are there any other nominations? Representative Guzman.
I nominate Senator McLean.
Second. I graciously accept.
Any other nominations? Senator Thompson.
I rescind my nomination.
All right. Any other nominations? Senator Weber.
I'd like to nominate myself.
Second. Senator Bone.
Senator Pratt.
Second.
It's denied.
I'll respectfully deny. Right, respectfully decline. Senator Swartz.
I would like to nominate myself. Second.
You accept?
Yes.
Representative Guzman.
I'd like to nominate Senator Cowell.
Second. I accept. Senator Harvey.
I like to respond.
All right. Okay. Senator Jolin.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
Any other nominations? Senator Buzzell.
I'd like to rescind my nomination.
So nominees are Senator Bone, Senator Waters, Senator McLean, Senator Weber, Senator Spark, Senator Cowan, and Senator Schomerdine, and Senator Ricker. Are there any other nominations?
Is there anybody I missed?
Senator DeMerchant?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you missed me.
Okay. Yes, I think I did. You like? Yes, I did, that's.
Senator Fang?
Point of information, we write 4 names.
Yes, you're going to. Any other nominations? 4 seats, 4 senators? All right, that being said, 1 minute speeches, starting with Senator Bone.
Well, everybody again, this comes the last time, we'll be running pretty good, but
I just want to mention that I was on EBC last semester, and at the end of last semester, there was quite a few high budget, high spending requests that came through, that I was rather opposed to. Just because I figured that they were in a poor position currently. We're currently sitting on 71,000 as they're starting projected and allocated. And last year, a little bit after this, we were at 147,000, so we're twice as much as we have now. I feel like part of that is probably due to some of the funding requests that were approved last semester that I was against. And so I'd like to try and, even though I was against them, try and work to remedy that, and have us not be going completely negative for this coming semester. So I try my best to work with clubs that come with requests and try to do as much as possible to benefit them and benefit the most student body that we can with our limited funding for this semester.
Senator Waters.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you've got 1 minute.
Okay, cool. I'll be fast. Last year, I found myself questioning about EBC a lot as a senator. I'm wondering what would I have done differently, and some things that I knew for sure that I would have done differently if I was on EBC. And I figured I need to stop complaining and just get on EBC. And my qualifications are that I love couponing, and I think that we need to help our clubs coupon and find other ways to get funding, as well as still being a funding source for them.
Senator McLean.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marcus McLean, and I know the energy in the room has been slowly tapering off a little bit, but I'll try to keep it pretty short. I have been very, very passionate about financial management. And I know I'm a freshman here, but I do have experience in my high school setting. I was class treasurer, as well as I oversaw the budget for the Animal Rights Club and prom committee. I'm really passionate about being part of the executive budget committee. I truly believe it's where I can serve best in this group. And I'm so excited to be serving on the student government with you all, and I really hope I can get through both. Thank you.
Senator Weber, you have 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Matt Weber. I am currently majoring in financial economics and accounting. I have previous experience through my high school with budgeting, being a treasurer of my government. I, again, hope to work with and alongside all of you in PBC and get to get that connection with other clubs and maybe hopefully bring new ideas, because apparently it sounds like maybe things at the end were not going smoothly. So hopefully with a new voice and a new ideas can change and hopefully improve what the situation is in student government.
Senator Sparks, 1 minute.
I'm Senator Sparks. I am a very practical person, and I don't have an issue with raising an objection when I think that something is not the best. I also have a very wide range of interests, which gives me experience on a lot of different topics that might not have experience. So that first-hand point of view can help me understand things, but also that's not going to override the amount of money that we actually have, so.
Senator Cowan, you have 1 minute.
All right, hi, everybody. Again, for the 10th time. I am very dependable. I'm responsible. I can manage money well. Not to brag, but I got a 100 on my stats final, so good with math too. I think that these are the students' money and they deserve to use them as they see fit, but there are also limitations, and I am not opposed to enforcing that and making sure that our funds are used wisely for the betterment of all students.
Senator Sherman, you have 1 minute. Senator Ricker, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, if I'm honestly, if not, I might be the oldest student government person in one, and through my time in student government, I've seen numerous different EDCs, I've seen numerous different clubs coming in to request funding, and I've been on the other side of it too, where I've come into student government and I've requested funding, and on the other side, standing up there, arguing why my club should get funding. And with my time here comes experience and an understanding of how it works. I understand both the student government side and the club side of it. And the way I see it is that there's a balance between the scrutiny that, like strict scrutiny, and giving money in ways that is there's a balance, and I think I have that balance down very well, and I think we are a very great candidate. Thank you.
And Senator Merchant, you have 1 minute.
So, hi everyone, as I know we're speaking for the umpteenth time, but so my interest in EBC, EBC is very important and I would like to join on. Mainly it's because of the fact that EBC irons out a lot of things, and at least for my standing, I brought in different perspectives and ideas, that would hopefully iron out like the process for when it actually meets Senates. To just bring up one example, I think we talked for like roughly 45 minutes for one EBC funding request for like 2 buses. And it was when I brought in the idea of like doing like a staggered funding, that's what things got a little bit quicker. So as like sort of an idea, I wanted to just bring forth to the table just like new ways where we could possibly just not live through limitations, but like local ground limitations and just creative in different ways. Cause I get it, we're at a budget crunch, we're just having to deal with these kinds of things, and that's what I wanted to do.
That is 1 minute. Alright, the current nominees for the EBC committee are Senator Bohm, Senator Waters, Senator McLean, Senator Weber, Senator Sparks, Senator Cowan, Senator Ricker, and Senator Merchant. Before we pass out,
Oh, are we 4 pieces of paper or are we writing?
just get one or 4 on there. Before we do that though, the president pro tempore will be Senator Kyle Ricker. Great, senators, go ahead and hold your hands up, get ballots. You're going to be putting down 4 names of who you think should be on EBC. Those names are Bohm, Waters, McLean, Weber, Sparks, Cowing, Ricker, and Demers.
Oh, very good.
While those are counted, we can move on to the Student Organizations Committee. President Tripp, would you like to take a run?
Yeah, the Student Organization Committee is another one of our pretty fundamental committees. They handle all of the recognition process, from preliminary to final. Essentially what that means is that when clubs want to become recognized on campus, there's 2 routes they can do so. One is through the university and one is through us. SOC, at least last year under our former BPSO, Julie Mulward did a lot of work on kind of mixing those 2 a little bit more and making them easier for clubs and orgs, so that a little different this year. But your primary goal in this committee is to essentially interview each club seeking recognition through us, usually for financial and advertising reasons. You have to make sure that they do not duplicate the efforts of another club, and also are sustainable enough to essentially get the benefits that they get from UMSG. You're also in charge of deactivating clubs, that is to come to that. And I believe that his meetings are Wednesday at 3:30. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Okay.
Current nominees are Senators Thompson, Ricker, Tang, Buzzell, and Schomerdine. This is another committee where it's the foremost senators get the 4 positions. Yes, and this, I should have said this about EBC as well. If you're a member of this committee, all of your requirements are same thing with EBC, SOC, and FBC. Are there any nominations, Senator Demers?
I would like to nominate Senator Leventhrough.
Second.
Any other nominations? Senator Weber?
I nominate Senator Blatt.
Second.
I graciously.
BPSL Oldfield?
Point of information, this does cover your required Senate.
Wait.
Did you?
Oh, yes.
Senator Johnson?
I'd like to.
Senator Thompson?
I really my nomination.
Okay. Senator Darrell?
I'd like to nominate myself.
Second.
Senator Buzzell?
Also, there's some nomination.
Senator Ball?
Senator Zila, second. Respectfully declined.
Senator Payne?
I'd like to nominate Senator Kearns.
Second.
I would absolutely decline.
Senator Merchant?
I would like to nominate myself. I respectfully accept.
Senator Ricker.
The longest handle.
I accept.
Any other nominations? Senator Ricker.
The longest handle level.
That's a second. Ricker second.
I'll try.
Alright, are there any other nominations? Alright. Do we think the QBC results here? No. Alright, so current nominees for SOC are Senators Ricker, Bang, Vallette, Jolin, Demerchant, Cowan, and Weber. We will begin with Senator Ricker. You have.
Yeah, so. So that's the, okay, I got it, all good. Okay, so. For those of you who don't know me, I've been on SOC for 3 semesters now. And if you also want to know one thing about me is that I have a ridiculous amount of involvement in a ridiculous amount of clubs. I do everything from sports, dance, choir, academic clubs, outdoor clubs, everything, really. And what that means is that half the time when an SOC club comes in and they want recognition, or they want like recognition status, there's a decent chance I'll recognize them. And I think it's just good to have that sort of experience, knowing like who the people who are coming into the meetings are, but and just in general, knowing the policies and just being a friendly face that they might recognize them. So thank you.
Thank you. Next is Senator Fang. You have 1 minute.
I love clubs, I love SOC, I've looked at the new way to start a club this year, thank you.
Senator Vallette, you have 1 minute.
Okay, let me just cut the formal operations. First day, obviously, my TikTok moments. But I feel that this is my forte because I myself run an online auto parts store. I oversee shipping, distribution, and all of the management of famous brand names, including Mood, Monroe, Wix, Brand, etc., etc. These are all auto parts. And along with getting involved with various clubs, I see that this is vehemently similar to what I currently already do and have experience in overseeing and managing, distributing, etc., etc. So I personally feel that this is my strong suit, and I know I can relatively unknown, but it's time to make my mark.
Thank you. Next is Senator Jolin. You have 1 minute.
Again, I've been a student here for several years now. I've been involved in many different student organizations. I've made a lot of my best friends in those organizations who have been very so I understand the importance of them. And I also feel that I'd be very fair and objective in recognizing student organizations and kind of making sure everyone is up to par and doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Thank you. Next is Senator Demerchant. You have 1 minute.
Alright, so hi everyone, being part of SOC, I'm glad that we see sort of position to create more like create like a better sense of just like ease, because I get it, like getting your club recognized is a very uphill battle. I'm part of a club that is still through the recognition process as we speak. I'm also part of the 2 clubs, so I'm just wanting to have this position as something where, you know, you can come to student government, and if you have issues or like if there's a snag in the recognition process, I'm willing to work with anyone, even if you know, there's some sort of time constraints. So yeah, thank you.
And Senator Cowan, you have 1 minute.
Hello again. I am also involved in a lot of clubs on campus, and I understand their importance in community building and creating space on campus. I am really passionate about getting people involved with community building, with creating that space. So I would love to be a part of creating a solid foundation for new clubs and organizations.
Thank you. And Senator Weber, you have 1 minute.
Hi again, I think coming here, as I am new to this, I think when you first get in, I think you mainly think that academics are gonna be a priority and that like that's what you're gonna be going for. But I think a lot of what makes college and this atmosphere so great is the clubs and the social interaction of it. From other things I've been trying to find and from clubs I've been trying to get into and actively participating in, I think that building a sense of community and maybe even more important than the education you get here itself. And I think being a part of the committee that can help people do that and help people start that is something that's very important.
Thank you. Before we move on to voting for SOC. We already voted for GBC, I said before we do SOC, I'm gonna pass. The EDC for this semester will be Senators Bohm, Waters, Cowan, and Ritter. Grab a ballot, put down the 4 names you would like to be on SOC. Those names being Senator Ricker, Chang, Willett, Jovan, DeMerchant, Cowan, and Weber. 4 names. Ballot for 5.
While we collect ballots, Vice President Lehman, do you want to start talking about what SEC is?
Yeah, so Student Entertainment Committee is my committee.
SEC, the SEC chair has a report. I'll just stand over here.
So it's my committee. We work to plan concerts. It's like the main thing that people like to do, but we do other events around campus with our entertainment budget. If you're the senator, it counts for one of your committee requirements, and you get like some special privileges by being on SEC. Like potentially the artist, and that gets you help work in the concert. So it's very exciting and it's very fun, and can't wait to.
Alright, SDC only has 1 elected position. The current nominees are Senator Fang, Senator Buzzell, Senator Shelmerdine, and Senator DeMerchant. Are there any nominations? Senator Fang?
Does SEC have a set time yet? Mondays 1 to 2, that is fine then. I rescind my nominations.
Great. Any other nominations? Senator Shelmerdine?
I also like to rescind my nomination.
Okay. Any other nominations? Senator Bone?
Nominate Senator Crowley.
Second.
I respectfully decline. Any other nominations? Senator DeMerchant?
I would like to rescind my nomination.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Senator Buzzell? Sorry, Senator Fang.
I nominate Senator Kearns.
Second.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Gillen?
I nominate Senator Sparks.
Second.
Accept.
Representative Fang.
Like to nominate, Senator Lumberton.
Is there a second? Any other nominations for this month?
I nominate Senator Golden. Second.
Actually, no, sorry. I rescind that. I'm confident. Sorry.
Any other nominations?
I nominate Senator Slaw. Slaw. Very quickly,
Any other nominations? Senator McLean?
Definitely nominate myself.
Okay. You accept? Any other nominations? Senator Buzzell?
Point of information, how long do these meetings usually last?
How long do the SAT committee meetings last?
It's 1 to 2 on Mondays.
Is it likely to run over?
Huh? What do you say? No, it's 1 to 2. It does not take an hour.
Any other nominations?
Just a point of information for everybody, just because you don't get elected to this does not mean that you can't be on it, still fulfills you being in a committee, this is just. So that we guarantee that we always end at least 1 person on there, so for everybody who wants to be in it, then you can be in it. It's just, yeah.
At the chair's discretion. Senator Sparks?
I would like to just rescind.
Who are the current nominees? Right, are there any other nominations? The current nominees are Senator Buzzell and Senator McLean. Seeing none, associated. We'll do 1-minute platform speeches for the SEC position, starting with Senator Buzzell, about 1 minute.
All right, me again, Eddie, I currently the music director for WMB, signing with one of my I'm also one of the head copy editors for the Maine Campus newspaper, so I
very intimately involved with different forms of student entertainment on campus, and I think my musical knowledge, my position at the radio station would help me in selecting an artist for our concert series.
Thank you. And Senator McLean, you have 1 minute.
Hi again. So I am part of, as I said, part of performing arts. I'm doing UMaine Singers and potentially the Steiners. And I just believe that I can pair that experience with my experience in the past with doing stock market club, getting an idea of like optimally where to allocate our funds for the best student engagement, you know, keeping students excited to be students here at this great university. And yeah, I guess just keeping students involved with these fun events is something I'm really passionate about. So I hope I can be given the chance to be put on this committee. Thank you very much.
Hey, we're gonna take. Just quick reader, just wait for the results for. This we don't get lost or confused. So I.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna say this for special orders and announcements, but this meeting is already really long. If you haven't noticed already, new senators, sometimes our meetings aren't just 6 to 8. The more that we have going on in these meetings, the more things we have to talk about, the longer they tend to be, and we're entering a year with the biggest Senate we've had. That being said, those chairs who have been elected and are going to be elected, I think this is our last one. Congratulations. Keep in mind that each week, instead of nominations like this, we will be giving reports. We of course want you to report as much as you need, but just keep in mind, just generally, and this is for our execs, this is for myself, being sensible of everybody's time here. It can get long, and I appreciate your dedication and being here. Despite the time over.
All right, so the Student Organization Committee this year will be made up of Senators Jolin, Ricker, Feng, and Milan. I'll begin voting for the FCC single nominated position. The nominees are Senators Buzzell and McLean. After you vote, hold up your ballots. You're only voting for one name. Here you go. Any more ballots? We still have executive session tonight, right? Okay, thank you. Any more ballots? Come up. Voting speed around the polling.
I got it. It's not locked on. It's an individual one too.
Senator.
Yeah, so
Do you have a point?
yes, point of information just for everyone, I just some points that like I've heard some people just being like worried about like being like musicians of like power, like whatever, just letting you guys know, like that fear or like that's really worried about like, am I able to live up to the past up and stuff? It is so valid. I was in your position and at least wanted to say that, there is that fear, but honestly, take hold of it. Because I was in your shoes, last year, I was kind of thrust into the ICR position. And there was weeks where I had no idea what else to do. But I blamed on so many people, being in this room where they've graduated, and I can at least say it from someone who had been there.
The single candidate that was voted for the SEC is Senator Buzzell. We are now concluded with our new business of nominations and elections. We have nothing for the main motion and about to go into executive session. Which,
Run that for.
yeah, so what executive session is, I need somebody to move to enter executive session, no?
Not a,
No. So what the process is, our clerk calls the roll of everybody who's in the room. And then following that, everything that is discussed in executive session cannot be disclosed to anybody outside of this room. This is private information. Much of what we discuss in executive session are legal matters and private information like wages and just private details that is nobody else's business but our own. And as student leaders and as elected senators and representatives and ex officio positions, it's your responsibility to protect information. We still have the regular discussion and debate that I recognize you often we vote on stuff, but it's private information. When we leave executive session, we take roll again. Do you have questions and remarks?
I was gonna wait till you finished.
Fine.
Well, for your information, it is a felon, right?
Some information, yes, it is.
Great, just praising for God, we have a lawyer.
Yeah. Representative Moore. Yes, once we enter executive session, I'm going to dismiss everybody who is not with UMSG. Even if you're a observing senator, it was great having you, but unfortunately, I need to dismiss you.
That's all members of, all people who are not fully members of the General Student Senate.
Yes, that includes your campus reps, that includes guest speakers, unless you're an employee student. Senator Thompson. Senator Thompson.
Did the observing senator get their paper signed?
Okay. Okay, we will now enter executive session. Will the clerk please call?
City Shelmer here.